Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei and Azazel Failed Experiment and Multiple Isseis Appeared with Different Powers movie. Before we start, please go support Iseei1702 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. Azazel along with Iseei create a kind of machine to travel dimensions, but an accident occurs causing the machine to be destroyed, and out of nowhere many Iseei appear, leaving the two shocked. How will Azazel and Isee solve this? Chapter 1. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to see another you with a different personality and body? That their story is different from yours? Well, that's what happened to me. What is happening? Issei said in shock, seeing many Issei in Azazel's laboratory. 3 hours before. We see Issei studying for his exams and at the same time looking at his magazines, but a call from his cell phone would ring and the one speaking was Azazel. Azazel-sensei, hello? Said polite Issei. Hello Issei, I'm calling you to help me with something, said Azazel to Issei, asking Issei for an extra hand. What do you need help with? Issei said curiously. I'm making a machine that will leave you speechless just like everyone else's, Azazel said, smiling. Oh, okay, Issei said, unsure. After all, some of Azazel's inventions are incredible, but at the same time crazy and dangerous. Azazel's laboratory. We can see a large black room. There were computers from Grigory's technology, chemical equipment for conducting experiments, and rooms for training sacred gears. Hello Issei, said Azazel, greeting Issei, and would go down the elevator. Hello Azazel-sensei, Issei greeted his sensei. Did you call me to help you with something? Issei said, and Azazel nodded. Yes, I need you to help me fix the machine over there, said Azazel, pointing to some kind of strange machine. Seriously, but I have a question, Issei said curiously. If you're wondering what the machine is for, I'll tell you later. For now, fix the wires and install the screws, Azazel said with a smile. Issei wanted to deny it, but Issei thought he would tell him later. Issei easily fixed the cables and installed the screws thanks to the wrench from the toolbox. I'm done, Issei shouted to Azazel from above. Okay, go up the elevator, shouted Azazel, and got into the elevator and went with Azazel. Well, Issei, you must be wondering why I help you instead of Penemu, Betrayal or Beelzebub, right? Azazel said with a smile, looking at him, and nodded. As if he was reading his mind, he answered the question that Issei was going to tell him, but Azazel answered him. It's because of how this machine works, said Azazel, and Issei was confused, and Azazel took out a syringe from his first aid kit. For it to work I need a little blood, said Azazel, leaving Issei in shock. Why do you need my blood? Now I understand why you didn't ask for help from Penemu-sama, Betrayal-san, or Beelzebub-sama. Surely they would say no without hesitation and start a senseless fight, said Issei, and Azazel nodded. Exactly, ha ha ha, but the question you want to know is why I want blood, said Azazel, and Issei nodded. First I will explain to you what this machine is for. This machine shows alternate dimensions of the person who gave their blood. In other words, a machine to see dimensions, but for that I need blood. Azazel explained the function of the machine, surprising Issei. And Azazel asked him, have you ever thought about what your life would be like if you hadn't been reincarnated or been another supernatural being? Azazel said to Issei, and he just remained silent. Now that I think about it, how would my life be if I hadn't been killed or reincarnated into a demon? How would Rias's life be if she hadn't defeated Razor? If she were an angel or fallen angel or yokai or magician or vampire or werewolf or Nordic or warrior of Olympus or hero or even a god of a mythology, would it be great for me or hell? Or would I never have met Rias? Many questions were in his mind. He was thoughtful that he didn't realize that Azazel drew his blood. Ready, said Azazel happily, since now he had the last ingredient for the machine to work, and Issei saw the syringe and saw the place where he injected it. It was in the right arm, which made Issei upset. Well, it's time to get this machine working, Azazel said, pouring Issei's blood into the machine. Several codes and numbers would appear on the computer. Azazel decided to type on the keyboard, pressing enter to turn on the machine, and a light would begin to shine. A black and blue light would be shining, red lights would surround the machine, and a strange portal would appear. I did it, ha ha ha, I've done what many failed to do, said Azazel as if he had created a machine of mass destruction. Everything was going well for Azazel, but the sound of an alarm would be heard. What's happening now? Azazel said and checked the computer and was shocked. It can't be! Azazel shouted and Issei was alarmed. What's wrong, Azazel-sensei? Issei asked in panic. The machine is failing. If this continues like this, it could explode, said Azazel in panic and went to check the problem, and what he found left him with a smile. Has so the Chaos Brigade sent a virus to my computer in case I created something that threatened their existence, said Azazel, and Issei was impressed. He didn't believe that the Chaos Brigade would send a virus to Azazel's computer. What can we do? Issei said in panic, and Azazel told him. There's nothing we can do, just wait for the machine to explode, Azazel said with his arms crossed, and Issei just smiled nervously. Boom! The sound of an explosion resounded throughout the place, destroying almost everything. The force was so great that it pushed the two against the wall, leaving them half unconscious. 2 minutes later, Issei would wake up after the explosion was caused, and Azazel would also wake up and get on his knees. Azazel-sensei, are you okay? Issei said, worried about his teacher. Yes, something like that wouldn't hurt me, said Azazel with a smile. Great, my Makiba has been destroyed and repairing it would take too long, said Azazel, but he would hear a voice. Hey, don't push, said a voice recognized by Azazel and looked at Issei. Hey Issei, since when did I push you? Azazel said to Issei. He was confused. I didn't say anything, said Issei. Really? I'm sure I heard you say that, said Azazel, but the same voice was heard. Where are we? Said the same voice and turned to look at Issei. I heard it too, and it was my voice? Issei said, confused, and Azazel became more confused. I think I'll go see, said Azazel, and the two agreed. They would crouch down and look secretly, and what they saw left them shocked. Hey Issei, you wear the same thing as me, Azazel said to Issei, and he just nodded, still with his face in shock. Azazel-sensei, is it true what you said that machine worked to see alternate dimensions? Issei said to Azazel. Then why are there so many me in the room? Issei shouted. Below the room there were many Issei below the laboratory room. Chapter 2. On a quiet day, Akeno, v. We are in Azazel's laboratory room where Issei along with Azazel were fixing the machine where you can see alternate dimensions of whoever puts their blood in the machine. But because of a virus from the Chaos Brigade, the machine broke down and then exploded into pieces. But the most surprising thing is that there were many Issei in the room. Why are there so many me? Issei shouted, shocked at seeing so many Issei. Azazel thought for a moment. Apparently when the machine exploded it caused a clash between dimensions or something more than that, and in the end it caused many of you to be transported to this place, explained Azazel. But what can we do? Issei said. For now, calm your other selves, after all they are confused, said Azazel, but Issei felt more nervous. He knew how it felt to see yourself, but it was different when you see yourself in a mirror. Azazel determined to stand up and then speak to the Isseis. Okay, everyone calm down and pay attention to me please, said Azazel, and all the Isseis paid attention to him and stared at him. Azazel for his part felt too nervous. Hello Azazel-sensei/old man, the Issei said to Azazel with respect. Some said old man instead of his name. Okay, I know everyone is confused, but let me explain, Azazel said, trying to calm them down. Of course, old man, tell us what's going on. Because of you I'm going to miss the most important day of my life, said an Issei in a tuxedo. Hey, you weren't taught to respect, said an Issei in full academy uniform, wearing glasses and holding a book in his hand. Shut up, it's none of your business, said the tuxedoed Issei, and so the uproar among the Issei began for no reason. Silence, 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 Azazel shouted to the Isseis, but it's no one's fault that Azazel is a crazy old man who has fallen, said an Issei with his typical clothing, but he had a green cap, and Azazel looked at him. It was unintentional, said the Issei with shame. Azazel sighed. Fine, I'll explain everything to you. So Azazel told them what happened, how, when, and how the machine worked. With Issei's help, he managed to turn it on. about the virus and the explosion. Let's see if I understand. You created a machine to see alternate dimensions to achieve an invention that I have never created, said the Issei with glasses, and Azazel nodded. And you and Issei fixed a machine that worked very well, but suddenly an error would appear, said the Issei, and Azazel nodded. And that supposed virus was created and sent by the Chaos Brigade in case you created an invention that would endanger their lives, continued the Issei, and Azazel nodded. Since you couldn't do anything against the virus, you decided to let the machine explode, causing a clash between dimensions that caused us to teleport to this place. Issei spoke, and only Azazel nodded. And of course the only way to return to our places of origin is for you to repair the machine, and the time to do it is in 1 or 2 years, said the Issei with glasses, and Azazel nodded, and all the Isseis were silent. I think it's a little reasonable, said Issei along with Azazel. The atmosphere between everyone was uncomfortable until one spoke. Now what can we do? Said an Issei in a black suit. TSH, and just when I was about to kill a certain redhead along with her entourage of useless people, said an Issei with a black jacket and white hair. I'm going to miss the World Cup, said an Issei wearing a Real Madrid shirt. I need to go back, my goddess will be in danger, said an Issei in adventurer clothes and white armor with red stripes. What did I do to be here? Said a girl with long brown hair wearing the Qua Academy uniform. Damn, and just when I was training to defeat that damn fried chicken, said an 11 or 13-year-old Issei. Now what will I do if I'm somewhere else? Will Rias-chan or Asia-chan or some other girl who is my girlfriend be okay? Who will make their bento every morning? Who will accompany them to school and see that they haven't been kidnapped by a dangerous guy? When I return to my world, I'll kill him, said an Issei with a sadistic smile and a Yandere attitude. After all, I need some time alone, but you and the other girls will be fine. Blush, it's not like I care what happens, said an Issei in an embarrassed tone and almost Sundara attitude. All the Isseis were worried, but Issei decided to calm them down. Everyone, I know that everyone is worried and frustrated because they had plans, but if they continue like this, we won't get anywhere, said Issei next to Azazel. And what do you want us to do? Said a rebellious-looking Issei. The best option would be for you to stay here, said the Issei, suggesting. No way, we're not strange animals, said the little Issei. Believe me, it's for the best, said Azazel, agreeing with Issei. It would be best if you guys stay, since you are from other realities, whether it's the Chaos Brigade, or Heaven, or the Underworld, or the Yukai Realm, or Vampire City, or Asgard, or Olympus, or worse, when you meet Vala or Ophis or Great Red. If you meet them, you will cause trouble for the Issei here, or worse, unnecessary fights or captures, explained Azazel, if the Issei are discovered by all the factions. Well, to finish, does anyone have a question? Azazel said, and someone raised their hand. Yes, one of the Issei escaped through the front door, said the Issei with the green cap, and Azazel and Issei were left blank by the Issei's response. Why didn't you say it before? Said Issei angrily. No one asked? Said Issei as if it were something common. Issei, go get your other self, I'll watch the others. Azazel ordered Issei, and he nodded and then went down the elevator and ran to the door and left. I hope that Issei who came out doesn't cause any madness, or I'll be lost, said Issei, worried. Elsewhere, Center. We can see an Issei with his typical clothes, but unlike the others, this one had a smile and blushed cheeks. Lala, sharks, sharks, cute sharks, sang the Issei while walking, something that made people look at him strangely. I feel so happy, but I think something's missing, Issei said in an adorable tone, and looked to his left, seeing a dessert shop, and saw something he loved too much. Flan? Issei's eyes would shine, and he would put on a smile. Imagine it's Issei. Issei would enter the dessert shops without realizing that some of the kendo were watching him. Did you see that? Hayato went to buy something at the dessert shop, said a brunette with pigtails. Yes, what to buy, Hayato? For sure, a cake for adults, said a girl with short pink hair. I don't know, maybe we should see what K-Tace is up to, the brunette said to the girl named K-Tace. I agree, unless Murayama followed us, K-Tace said to the girl named Murayama. The two girls went to the dessert shop and saw Issei carrying a bag, Murayama would sit at the nearest table where Issei was and look at him. Keitase would buy a cake and the two of them stayed watching Issei, and he took out what was a flan? They both said, surprised by what Issei bought. What are you planning, Hayadu? They both thought when they saw it, and suddenly Issei's mouth started to drool while his eyes shone. He tasted the pudding and an adorable smile formed on his face as if he was enjoying it quite a bit. Murayama and Keitase stared at him, and when they saw him they felt as if their hearts were beating at full speed. Flushed cheeks appeared on their faces. How? My heart beats so fast, said Keitase with her hand on her chest. Why does just seeing Hayadu eat a pudding make me blush like this? Said Murayama. Oh, Murayama-san, Keitase-san, said Issei, greeting both of them. Hello, Hayadu, said Murayama, blushing. Hey, Hayadu, please don't come closer, said Keitase, trying to push Issei away. Because, Issei said innocently. Just don't come any closer, Murayama said, trying to push him away. But I still don't understand, said Issei, equally innocent. Just stay away, Hayadu, said Keitase, annoyed. Hey, but they haven't told me anything yet, said Issei, still innocent, making the two of them even more angry. Just go away, Hayadu, and don't bother them, that's clear. They both shouted at Issei, and if that weren't enough, Issei would get angry. Oh, it's not my fault you guys are mad, I was just worried about you, said Issei, pouting adorable, making the two blush even more. The two girls gave in and let themselves be carried away by Issei's charms, and the first to act was Murayama. Issei, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to me, but forgive me, said Murayama, apologizing to Issei. As a token of apology, we will give you a piece of cake, said Keitase, cutting the cake and giving it to Issei. Thank you, said Issei with a smile, and with his fork he would eat the cake. That made the two blush even more when they saw Issei, and of course they panted while having their hands on his chest. This is how Issei's first problem became. Chapter 3. At night. We can see an Issei standing on a building, but this Issei was different. He had an elegant white suit and on his back was a bow and arrows, but these dates were not for combat, they were. Oh, I feel a negative and hateful aura in the nearest park, said Issei, then took out some golden wings from his back. He would fly to the park and then hide in one of the bushes. You've got me fed up with you always spending all your money on clothes and makeup, said a man. Oh, look who's talking, you spend it all on wine and football tickets, said a woman. Yes, but I don't buy designer nonsense, as you know, said the furious man. Well, at least I don't get drunk, wake up hungover in the morning and don't wet the bed, said the angry woman. What did you say? Said the man, even more furious, and about to hit the woman. Go ahead, hit me, come on, if you're at least a man, said the woman mockingly. I can't stand this, it should be love not hate between couples, said Issei, then took out his bow and took out a heart-shaped arrow. Issei would aim at the woman and shoot his arrow at the woman, achieving his goal. From there the arrow would sprout red hearts, and then disappear. You know I'm leaving, the man said as he was about to leave, but the woman grabbed his wrist. Hey, let me go, said the man. You know, I still remember the last time we went out to the park, the woman said with a blush. What are you talking about right now? Said the man, trying to get away, but Issei would shoot an arrow at him, receiving the same effect from the woman. That's true, now that I think about it, it's the same park where we first met, the man said with a smile. Forgive me if I fought with you, it's just that I thought I would look more beautiful and you would never leave me, said the blushing woman. I'll never leave you, besides you look more beautiful without makeup, hee, said the man with a smile. Ha ha ha, that's true, and you look more handsome if you stop drinking, the woman said. The couple was having a lovely moment, you could even see an invisible pink mist surrounding the couple. Issei would smile upon seeing this, and then fly away. No matter where I go there will always be hate everywhere, said Issei, angrily pouting. But I don't care as long as I'm here, Issei, the god of love, or rather Cupid, said Issei with a smile, and those who saw Issei were the few who were amazed. The next day. 'Twas downtown, its stalls were open to serve the people who came to buy. People went out with their friends and partners, Everything was happy, but even more so for a brunette who was wearing a black jacket under a white shirt, navy blue pants and black boots. This Issei was walking around the whole place and flirting. This Issei was hooking up with any woman or girl he thought was pretty, while also having to deal with several partners. But he dodged every blow from each man with a partner until he knocked them down. "Damn," said the man on the ground. "A savage like you doesn't deserve to be next to such a beautiful woman," said Issei, making the woman blush and making the man even more angry. "Now I'll kill you," said the furious man, trying to free himself, but Issei stopped him with his foot. "Beautiful lady, forget about this savage and come with a more elegant man. Perhaps the red thread of destiny unites us," said Issei, sounding like a poet, making the woman blush even more. "Well, if you say so," said the blushing woman. The man looked furiously at Issei. The woman was about to take Issei's hand. "Oh, beautiful lady, would you like to go out with me? I feel that the thread of destiny unites us," said Issei, flirting with another girl, leaving the woman he was flirting with in shock. Issei continued flirting uncontrollably. The women and girls he left were in shock at Issei's abandonment. Despite this, Issei was handsome. He was actually almost or more of a womanizer. "Wow, the food here really tastes so delicious," said a blonde-haired girl wearing a white blouse and sneakers. The girl was enjoying his soba while sitting. "How good it feels to be alone, without the church warriors bothering me, without Heracles, George, Alexander or Chow Chow anywhere, just me and the blue sky without that purple color," said the girl happily, but her moment would end when she saw a certain brunette. "Hiya to Issei?" the girl said, surprised to see Issei. When he saw her, he felt the urge to flirt with her. Without hesitation, he approached her and took her hands, surprising her. "Jean is as beautiful as ever," said Issei, looking at Jean. "What did you say?" Jean said, blushing. "Let's forget about our battles we've had, the Gremory clan and Chow Chow. Let's go out without caring about our racial differences, and of course let's kiss," said Issei, looking at Jean, and she would blush even more. "What are you saying, idiot?" Jean said furiously, and without hesitation she would grab him by the arm and throw him, but Issei would just stand on his arms. "Like," said Jean, impressed. "Come on, Jean-san, a beautiful woman shouldn't fight," said Issei, winking at her. Jean angrily would run towards Issei. He would start hitting him, but Issei would dodge it. She would kick, but Issei would grab her and then throw her into the air. "Aya!" Jean would scream at Issei's sudden action. She would close her eyes, then open them and see Issei carrying her princess style. "WH what?" Jean stuttered, blushing at being carried like that, even more so by Issei and in public. Issei would put her down gently. "It's not my style to force a woman to love me or go out with me, but I'll still be waiting for your answer, Jean-san," Issei said, and then kissed her on the forehead, surprising her. "I'll be waiting for you, darling," Issei said as he left. "You'll pay for this, Huda Issei!" Jean shouted at the top of her lungs, embarrassed. Issei was now sitting on a bench looking at the sky. "Maybe it's not so bad to be here, and it was really hard to escape from the room with other Issei who wanted to go. Now that I think about it, where are they?" Issei said thoughtfully, but he wouldn't take it as important. At the academy. The students of Core Academy were entering to go to their classes. A certain brunette with the same uniform, but this one was wearing glasses that made him look cuter. "No matter where I go, the academy will never change," Issei said, observing the academy. Issei would enter without problems, and head to his classroom. "Huda Issei," said the teacher, calling Issei. "Here I am," said Issei from the doorway of the classroom. "Fine," said the teacher nervously. "May I come in, Professor?" Issei said politely, surprising everyone. "Yes," said the teacher, and Issei entered the classroom, receiving looks from all the students. Throughout the class, Issei solved and answered each question with the correct answer, surprising all his classmates. During recess, Issei was reading peacefully, until his two friends arrived. "Issei, you want to go spy on the Kendo Club? We found another opening to spy on," said Matsuda with a smile. "What are you saying, hi to Issei?" said Motohama. "No," Issei said simply, leaving the perverted duo blank and impressing everyone in the room. Why?" Motohama said in shock. "Why not?" said Issei, reading. "What did you do with the Issei I know? Who are you? Answer," said Matsuda, grabbing Issei by the shirt while moving him. It's very simple, I changed, so if you don't mind I have to study for my future university exams, said Issei, letting go of Matsuda and then going to a quieter place, leaving the two in shock. Meanwhile, Kiba along with Zenobia and Asia were looking at Issei. What's wrong with Issei-kun today? Said Kiba. I don't know, after going with Azazel-sensei he became like this, said Zenobia. Are you okay, Issei-san? Asia said worriedly. We better report this to the Rias one-sama, said Kiba, and then went with Asia and Zenobia to the club. In the occult club, Issei was seen in the living room, said Rias, sitting on the sofa. Yes, Rias one-sama, said Asia, sitting in the former president's chair. Issei was not only seen in the classroom but also in the center of Kwa, picking up girls, Akeno said with a smile and a black aura around her. Issei-sama has become a little strange after going with Azazel-sama, said Ravel worriedly. Yeah, now that I think about it, he hasn't come to the club, Rias said. Rias Onisama, Issei said he was going to study for future exa. Asia was interrupted because someone entered the club. I'm here, darling, Issei said with a sweet smile. Issei, Rias said, impressed by Issei's sudden appearance and what he said. Darling? Akeno said. Yes, Akeno-chan, Rias-chan, Zenobia-chan, Asia-chan and Ravel-chan, said Issei with a smile, and the girls just put on a poker face. Chan? Rias said blankly. Yeah, isn't that what it's supposed to be called when a person is dating? Issei said innocently. Why, yes, Rias said nervously. Okay, Issei-kun, I want you to tell me why you were flirting in the plaza, Akeno said with a smile. Hey, I wasn't flirting, Issei said simply. Don't lie, Issei, Akeno has seen you, said Rias. Do you want to break our engagement and have me go out with someone else? Rias said, even more upset, and of course she dropped a bomb on Issei. Going out with another guy, Rias-chan, Issei said, sounding gloomy. Going out with someone else besides me, Issei said with a sweet smile, but it showed hostility. Issei-san? Asia said, scared. Are you being unfaithful to me, Rias-chan? Issei said, then pulled out a kind of saber from his jacket. What are you talking about, Issei, and why do you have that sword in your hand? Rias said, scared. If that's the case, I have to eliminate you, Issei said with a loving smile as he pointed at Rias, leaving the others blank. And now it's time to eliminate you, said Issei with a sinister smile, and then jumped, doing a somersault with the aim of cutting Rias. Rias Nisama, Kiba said, blocking Issei's attack. Issei-kun, what's wrong with you? Kiba said, stepping back. Don't interfere, Kiba-kun, said Issei to cut, but Kiba blocked him. So you want to play, huh? You messed with the wrong guy, Issei said, taking another saber out of his jacket. Well, let's play, said Issei, running towards Kiba. But Issei would be stopped by a lightning bolt from Akeno and a fireball from Ravel. Era, has Issei-kun turned Yandere? Akeno said in an amused tone. Yandere? Ravel said curiously. Yandere means being crazy and in love. The person can be affectionate and nice, but inside they are hostile and crazy people about to kill their partner or loved ones, Akeno explained to Ravel. Really? Ravel said in surprise. There's no time to be surprised, let's go out, said Rias, watching as Issei was pushed by the force of Kiba's sword. Oh, you, said Issei, crashing into the wall. This is our chance, Rias said, as her group left the building. Outside the building. Now what's happening to Issei? Rias said worriedly. I don't know, it's been different when I was in class, said Kiba. What's wrong? You look worried, said a voice behind them. Rosswise-san, said Rias. What's wrong? Rosswise said. It's Issei-kun, Akeno said worriedly. Something happened to Issei? Rosswise said worriedly. Yes, what happens to Issei is... Rias would be interrupted by a voice from the club window. Era Rias-chan, so you tried to escape from me, said Issei with a sinister smile. Issei, said Rosswise when he saw Issei. Now it's Ross-chan, said Issei looking at her. What does this mean, Issei? Said Rosswise. I'm just trying to eliminate Rias-chan, said Issei, pointing his saber at Rias. What are you talking about? Are you trying to betray the clan? Rosswise said angrily. No, Ross-chan, I love her for being unfaithful to me, said Issei with a sinister smile. What? Rosswise said, surprised seeing Rias. What he says isn't true, Rias said, upset. I have no proof, but I have doubts, said Issei, and then went down to the ground. What's wrong with you, Issei? You weren't like this before, said Zenobia. Girls, you are in love with me, Issei said seriously. Yes, they all said. So why are you running away from me? Issei said grimly. Well, is it because you suddenly? Rias said. I know, I went too far. Maybe I'm crazy and possessive, but I'm doing it for a good reason, said Issei, getting everyone's attention. During all the time I was in this academy, I fell in love with you all. Every day and night I haven't stopped thinking about you, until I finally confessed to each one of you and you accepted my feelings, and that made me happy even though I didn't know what love was, until you taught me, and that made me very happy, said Issei seriously and crying. Issei-kun/san/sama. All the girls said his name. If that were the case, I would never have committed to you, Rias said happily. It's true, Issei said happily, but you still haven't told me if you were unfaithful to me or not, Issei said, laughing. Hey, they all said. Now I'll eliminate you, said Issei. Wasn't everything fine a moment ago? Rosswise said. Now I'll eliminate you, Rias-chan. Let no one get in my way, said Issei, taking a saber out of his jacket. What do we do? Said Akeno. I don't know, we should do something, Rias said thoughtfully. Here I go, Rias, don't worry, it won't hurt, said Issei with a sinister smile. What do I do? I have to do something, said Rosswise, and then a shameful idea occurred to him. Ha ha, I laughed. I said it out of madness to cut the laughter, but Rosswise got in the way of Issei being almost killed, then pushed Rias and kissed Issei, leaving everyone and Issei in shock. Satisfied? And I'm sorry, Rias, Rosswise said, embarrassed. Rias said as he separated from Issei. Issei would release his saber and then place his hands on her cheeks. We kissed, Issei said in shock. That's right? Rosswise said. That's right, Issei-kun, said Rias nervously. So you're not cheating on me, said Issei. That's right, said Rias. So you love me? Issei said, returning to his right attitude. Yes, said Rias with a smile. Okay, now if you excuse me I'll go, said Issei, walking away from the club. Wow, it's good that he's gone, said Kiba, overcome. Yes, but the simplest question is, why did Issei-sama act like a yandere? Ravel said, upset. I don't know, does anyone have an idea? Rias said, and Asia raised her hand. Do you know Asia? Rias said. Yes, yesterday when I was at Issei-san's house, I heard in his room that Azazel sensei had called him. I don't know why, I think to help him with something, Asia said. Azazel sensei? Rias said, impressed. Yes, said Asia. Was it Azazel sensei who changed Issei's attitude? Zenobia said in surprise. If what Asia says is true, we will go to Grigory to talk to Azazel sensei. Tomorrow we will go. You all go to your classes. Akeno and I will go to the university, said Rias, and everyone nodded to leave. Azazel sensei doing his thing again. You sighed, laughing at Azazel's attitude. This became another big problem for the classic Issei. Chapter 4. At night. You can see two people standing on a building. The first person had short white hair, yellow eyes similar to a cat's. The most striking thing about him were his cat ears. He was wearing black pants and no shirt, showing off his well-toned body. The second had brown hair with honey-colored eyes. Like the other, he had no shirt, showing off a good-toned body. The only thing he was wearing were navy blue pants and black shoes. The most striking thing about him was that he had demon wings, a devil's tail, and horns. Tonight is a good night, Naya, said the cat-eared boy in a playful tone. That's right, now who will be the delicious prey? Said the brown-haired man, licking his lips. At that the two looked around and saw a couple walking. Naya, ha ha ha, we found a couple, how lucky Naya, said the cat boy in a playful tone. Oh, lucky you, I'll take care of the woman and you take care of the man, said the brown-haired devil's tail. Oh well, Naya. After all, you are an incubus, and I'm just a Nikomata with a strange ability, Naya, said the cat boy, and then fell off the building and landed on all fours. The white cat would run on all fours and then grab the guy's back from behind. But what? Said the man, confused, and suddenly. Ayaha! The man shouted, and lightning bolts would come out from behind his back without harming the cat boy. What the hell? The woman said in shock and suddenly ran away, not knowing that the devil's tail chestnut was following her as she flew. The girl would run as fast as possible. She ran as if her life depended on it. The girl crossed a path with a wall in front of her. The girl decided to turn around to follow. Suddenly the devil's tail chestnut would be in her path. Please don't do anything to me. If you want money, I can give it to you, said the scared girl, believing she was going to suffer the same fate as her partner. Relax, I won't hurt you, the brunette said calmly, and the girl calmed down. But what I'm looking for isn't money, it's your body, the brunette said in a playful tone, leaving the girl in shock. The brunette raised his finger upwards and suddenly. The girl was scared because her clothes disappeared, revealing her underwear. But what? The girl said, and then saw the brown-haired boy in front of her. You can't escape the charms of an incubus, said the brown-haired man, and then his eyes shone in a crimson tone. The girl would see his eyes and her mind clouded, revealing dull eyes. The chestnut tree would invoke a magic circle and chains grabbed the girl's legs and hands, putting her to bed. I hope you don't end up dead like the other girls. If that's the case, I'm sorry, the brunette said, then approached the girl. Screams could be heard throughout the night, leaving those awake frightened. 5 minutes later. I'm done, Naya, said the cat boy, satisfied, and the corpse of a man with an empty face would be on the ground. Looks like you're done, said the demon-tailed brown-haired boy, approaching the cat boy. Same with you, Naya. I thought that girl would last longer, but I was wrong, Naya, said the cat boy. Yeah, I thought the same thing, but it didn't last even 10 minutes, said the brunette, remembering the girl who was now a corpse with a blank face. Naya, ha ha ha, it's time to go, Naya. We'll be in trouble if they discover us, incubus boy, or rather Issei, Naya, said the cat boy to the brown-haired boy called Issei. I think the same, cat boy, or rather Issei, for you too, said the incubus Issei, and then let me see Issei Nikomata. This is how the rumor of two boys chasing couples at night was born. Present. What, there's trouble in the territory? Rias said, calling from a magic circle in her ear. Now we are in the occult club and all the members were there except Issei, since Rias did not know what would happen if he came again with that Yandra personality. Someone is hurting people in the territory, Kiba said worriedly. That's true, said Kaneko. Era, who will be the being who is tormenting the territory? Said Akeno with her typical smile. At that, Rias cut the call and looked at his entire clan. Guys, it seems there are two supernatural beings attacking couples at night. According to the information, the energy was from a demon and a yokai, said Rias, surprising everyone. A demon and a yokai attacking in pairs, doesn't that seem a little strange to you? Rosswise said. Yes, but the strangest thing was that the energy came from an incubus and a Nikomata, said Rias, leaving everyone in shock, especially Kaneko. An incubus and a Nikomata teaming up? Isn't it a little strange that a demon who seduces any girl and a yokai of a race almost on the verge of extinction work together? After all, they have different goals and abilities, Zenobia said seriously. That's true, but we won't know unless we capture them. Since I called Grigory to make an appointment and it's at night, I'll ask Sona to keep an eye on the territory at night, Rias said. Okay, go back to your classes, Rias said, and everyone left. In Core Plaza, hours later, we see a group of 3 girls accompanied by a blonde boy. They were wearing the Kwa Academy uniform. Okay, Saji, this is the place where the bet you made will be, Sona said in a serious tone. And how did it happen? Hours before. We can see Saji and Sona playing chess while Momo and Ruruko are watching the game in the background. Looks like you've improved, Saji, said Sona, moving an eyepiece. Thank you for the compliment, President, said Saji, moving a bishop piece. After moving pieces, Sona smiled. You're very confident, Saji. Do you think you'll beat me? Sona said. I didn't think about it, but now that I think about it, I will win, said Saji confidently. He's really confident. What do you say we make a bet? Sona said, her glasses flashing, surprising everyone. A bet, President, said everyone present. That's right, since Saji thinks he can beat me now, I'll make him bet anything, Sona said with a smile. Really? Then I want a date with you, said Saji excitedly, and made Momo a little jealous. Yes, but if I win you will help a lost child in Q Square, said Sona. I accept, Saji said quickly. Minutes later. How could I have lost? Saji said, looking at the board. Maybe it's because of the excitement that you were going to win and that you would finally have a date with me, Sona said with a smile. That's called strategy, thought Sona when she saw Saji. That's what I get for getting excited and not concentrating. Daji shouted to the heavens for not being able to win the game and bet. Present. Your idea was to bet, Saji said, complaining. I'm sorry, Saji, a bet is a bet, and you accepted it without hesitation, without thinking why I made it, she said, sounding serious. Now fulfill the bet, which is that of a child in the square, Sona said to Saji, and he reluctantly accepted. In the square they were not so lucky since most of the visitors were elderly and the children were accompanied by their parents. None of them found a lost child, unfortunately for Saji. We didn't find a single small child, Uruko said to Saji. There isn't a single missing child, Momo said, depressing Saji. Then I'm going to lose this bet, said Saji, sitting with his face down. Don't worry, Saji-kun, said Momo, trying to calm him down. It's true, how about we go to your house so you feel better, said Uruko. Okay, let's go. He couldn't finish speaking as he saw a brown-haired boy in front of him with a backpack looking at a map. Hey Ruruko, Momo, was that kid there before? Saji said to the two of them, and they looked ahead. No, we hadn't seen it, said Momo. Perhaps it will be, said Ruruko. Yes, a lost child, how lucky I am to win this bet, said Saji, getting up. Will you help that child? Momo said. Yes, after all I have to fulfill this bet with the president, said Saji. Good luck, said Ruruko. Saji went to where the boy was and then spoke to him. Hello, are you lost? Saji said with a smile, and the boy looked at him. They stared at each other, and then the boy said, Stay away from me, I don't talk to strangers. The boy said, then looked at the map again. What, did something happen? Momo said, seeing Saji sitting with his face down. I was rejected by an elementary school boy, said Saji. I'll try again, said Saji, and then stood up. Good luck again, said Ruruko. Saji was now next to the boy. Hey, do you need help? Saji said, but the boy ignored him. Why don't you ask me where you're going, okay? Hey, said Saji, but the boy ignored him. What, did something happen? Dijp holds his keys. I was ignored by an elementary school kid, said Saji. This time I won't fail, said Saji. Saji-kun, don't you think it's better to call a policeman? Momo said to Saji. Leave me alone, said Saji, getting up. Now Saji was behind the boy with his hand outstretched, and suddenly 5. Saji hit the boy from behind, and then the boy crashed into the map. What are you doing? The boy said angrily. I finally have your attention, said Saji. You can get anyone's attention if you hit them from behind, said the boy angrily. Well, since you seem to be lost, I thought I'd help you, said Saji. There's no one in this town who can help by hitting a kid on the head, no one, said the boy angrily. Okay, calm down, and I'm sorry. Well, my name is Saji Tenju, said Saji, his name. Saji Tenju, what a strange name, the boy said mockingly, and Saji just smiled forcefully. You're weird, stay away from me, said the boy, and Saji got upset. So, what's your name? Saji said to the boy. My name is Hachiki Issei. It is the beautiful name that my father and mother gave me, said the boy called Issei. Anyway, go away, I hate you, said the boy angrily. Come on, I won't hurt you. I'm the most harmless man in the city. I wouldn't hurt an animal, said Saji. Okay, I'll lower my defense level, said Issei. I would really appreciate it, said Saji. All right, Beast Boy. Beast Boy? Saji said angrily. Who are you talking about? Saji said angrily. You yelled at me, I'm scared, said Issei with his face down, hands on his head and on his knees. Ha, sorry if I yelled, but Beast Boy is a bad guy, anyone would get upset, said Saji. So what do I call you? Issei said. Why not just by my name? Saji said. It's okay, Saji-san, said Issei. The name is amazing, he said happily. I hate you, Saji-san, Issei said mockingly, and Saji just got up. Hurry up and go to the other side, Issei said. But aren't you lost? Saji said. I'm fine with this situation, said Issei, trying to push him away. Stop being stubborn, said Saji. I'm not, said Saji. You are, said Saji, and then Issei made an angry face and then. Toma! Padio Issei al belly de Saji. Eewa! Saji shouted and then grabbed Issei's leg. He grabbed me, said Issei while being spun around by Saji, but Issei would grab him by the hair and hit him with his elbow. Saji would get angry and they would start having a rowdy fight. Issei would end up on the ground and Saji would sweat. Yuff, what an idiot! An elementary school kid beating a high school kid, ha 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 ha! Saji laughed proudly while Momo and Ruruko had drops on their necks anime style. Saji, said a cold voice beside him, and Saji was shocked. Please listen to my excuse, said Saji calmly. Come in, said Sona coldly, and Saji sweated. Well, I wanted to help him since he seemed to be lost, said Saji to Sona. Yes, I see, Sona said and looked at Issei's shot. Well, at least you were keeping the bet, said Sona looking at Issei. I'll wake him up, said Sona. Hey, President, are you sure? Sajib said, worried, and it wasn't because of the bet. Easy, Saji, hey, wake up, said Sona, and Issei opened his eyes. Sorry if my friend made you. But before Sona could say anything, the boy screamed. Let me go! The boy shouted and then bit Sona's finger. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Sona screamed when she saw that Issei bit her. You could even see that he bit her whole hand. Eewa! Sona screamed in pain. Eamawashus! I screamed even louder and then hit him on the head. Calm down now, calm down, I'm not the one bothering you, she said calmly. Take a deep breath, Sona said, and Issei calmed down, breathing slowly. You breathe like a robot, said Sona, and then after a magic circle, a call came in from her ear. Yes, I will, said Sona. Saji, Momo, Ruruko, Rias asked us to watch the city at night because someone is causing trouble. Call the others, she said, sounding serious, and they nodded, but there was a problem. President, what are we going to do with the child? Ruruko said worriedly. What we will do is, said Sona, and then saw that the child was not there. How? The child disappeared, she said, surprised. President, could that child be a ghost? Momo said, scared. We don't know, but let's put that aside and I'm sure someone will help him, said Sona, then left with her clan. At night, we can see the entire Citri clan strolling to the place where the deaths occurred. According to today, this place is where many couples died, President, Sabaki said seriously. This place is perfect for many couples to die, she said seriously, leaving everyone in shock. Was it necessary to say that? President, said Ruruko. What did you expect from me? Said Sona. Very well, when there are problems in the territory you already know what to do, right? Said Sona, and everyone nodded. Well, according to the information, our opponents are an incubus and a nicomata, said Sona, and everyone was in shock. A nicomata and an incubus? That's a problem, said Momo. Yes, incubi are sexual demons that hunt women and then enter their dreams, stealing their vital energy, and we already know about Nekomatas, said Tsubaki. But the problem is that the incubus has the ability to control and enchant with its gaze, she said, sounding serious. What will I do? Thought Sona. Wow, I never thought you would be here, said a voice behind the Citri clan. Vala, what are you doing here? Sona said, seeing Valley accompanied by Biko, Kuroka, Arthur, and Lefei. Grigory. The Gremory clan was now in the Grigory's facility. Let me see Azazel sensei. I have an appointment with him, Rias said to the group of fallen angels guarding Azazel's office. They let them in without hesitation, having received a call from Azazel. Azazel sensei, I need an explanation, said Rias seriously. Quacity. Hello, heiress of the Citri clan, said Vala. What are you doing here, Vala? She said, sounding serious. Relax, we didn't come here to fight, said Bikwa. We just came because of the rumor that there's a cat boy here, Naya, said Kuroka. Are you guys here for the Nekomata? Sona said, surprised. Yes, said Vala. I'm sorry, Vala, but this is demon territory, she said, sounding serious. We only came for the Nekomata, said Vala. But still, Sona was interrupted by a scream. H, shouted a man's voice. H, another voice shouted, but it was a woman's. They've already started acting, said Arthur. Naihaha, a laugh was heard. The Nekomata is closer and the incubus is on the other side, said Lefei. What will you do, Citri? Vala said, and then? We'll go for the incubus and you guys do what you want, Sona said before leaving with her clan. Don't tell us what to do, said Vala as he went for the Nekomata. With the incubus and Nekomata. Anyeo, but to the list, Naya, said Issei Nekomata, stretching. Are you done? Said incubus Issei. Yeah, and you finished, right? Naya, said Issei Nekomata. Yes, it ended the same as the other one, it didn't even last 5 minutes, said Issei Incubus. Oh, come on, don't be like that, I know you'll find your ideal partner someday, Naya, said Issei Nekomata, and the incubus would blush at that. I told you no. He couldn't finish because they felt presences. I knew that one day they would find out about our existence, Naya, said Issei Nekomata. We better get out of here, said Issei Incubus and flew away. That's true, Naya, said Issei Nekomata as he left on all fours at full speed. Grigory. We can see the Gremory clan accompanied by Penemu. What business do you have with Azazel-sama? Penemu said seriously. Yes, we want to talk about Issei, said Rias. The Sekurudii? Said Penemu. Yes, yesterday he had a change of attitude, so I think his change was because Azazel-sensei called him to help him with something. I don't know what, said Rias. Now that you mention it, yesterday I saw the Sekurudii helping Azazel-sama with something, but I don't know what it was, said Penemu. Seriously, yes, and I think he's now helping Azazel-sama in the laboratory, said Penemu, and the clan was surprised. Really? Then take us to where they are, Rias said to Penemu. Without knowing that Asia was looking at a door and noises were heard inside. Quacity. Stop, there is Incubus, said Sona, flying chasing the incubus. Hey, don't run away, kitty, said Bikwa, chasing the Nekomata. You're fast, but I'm smarter now, he signaled Sona. Then magic attacks came out and hit the incubus, causing it to fall to the ground. The Nekomata escapes at full speed from Vala's group, but a gust of wind hits the Nekomata, causing it to fall. Sona would land where the incubus was, and there it was on the ground. By order of the Citri clan, you will be in custody until we know what to do with you, said Sona, and the incubus would get up. Don't resist, Nekomata, said Vala, looking at the Nekomata and then approaching him. Grigory. Asia is in front of a door where noises were heard, and she saw that there was a window above. Quacity. Okay, let's see who you are, said Sona, then looked at the incubus face to face. Let's see what your face looks like, said Vala, approaching the Nekomata. Grigory. He would stand on tiptoe to see what was at the door, and when he saw what was inside it shocked him. Quacity. Don't resist. Sona saw someone she knew, someone who shouldn't be here. If not, she should be with Rias, and that was. Very well, Nikomata. Vala went blank when he saw the face of the Nikomata, a very familiar face for him and his entire team, his eternal rival, that was. Issei Haidu, said Sona and her entire clan in shock when they saw that the incubus that was attacking people was Issei. Issei/Kun/Ape Dragon/Security, said Vala's team when they saw that the Nikomata was Issei. Grigory. Issei-san, said Asia, surprised to see that there were many Issei in the room. The secret has been revealed. Chapter 5. In a distant place in the underworld we can see two people standing on some mountains. The first person was wearing a striking golden armor with wings, and in his right hand he carried a golden bow. The second person was wearing a blue suit with red edges, a suit similar to that of a superhero. The two had serious looks, looking all over the place. They were Isseis. So we're in another dimension, says Issei in superhero costume. Yes, that's what Azazel said Issei from the golden armor. By the way, what do you think of this world? Said Issei of the golden armor. This world is almost identical to mine, only there are no heroes, the supernatural has not been revealed to humanity, and of course there are no quirks, said Issei in a superhero suit. If what you say is true, it is true. This world is also identical to mine, only there are no knights in the service of Athena-sama, and there is no cosmos energy in this world, said the golden-armored Issei, seriously looking at the entire landscape. Now that we're done, it's time to return to the Grigory, said Issei in golden armor. You're right, and Azazel is right. We don't want the Issei of this world to have problems, said the Issei in a superhero suit. But before the two left, one spoke. By the way, what will happen to the other Isseis who are accompanying us? One of the Isseis said that he was going to kill the Rias of this world, said Issei in a serious superhero suit. Well, may fate guide you, said the armored Issei as he left the place. Well, if you say so, said the superhero Issei to walk along with the armor Issei and go to Grigory. Quacity. Evening. No, it could be the incubus is Haidu, said Sona, shocked to see the identity of the incubus. The other members were also shocked. Tell me it's not true, Saji said seriously. With Vala's team. This must be a joke. The identity of the Nikomata is an Issei Haidu, said Vala seriously, seeing Issei Nikomata lying on the ground. Is the Ape dragon a yukai? How unexpected, said Biko. What did you expect? A dragon, Naya? Said the Nikomata, still with his typical childish attitude. The Naya don't fit you, haven't they told you? Said Kuroka. No, Naya, said Issei Nikomata in Bai. He just got up to go to a station where there were some bicycles. Now tell me, Security, who you really are, said Arthur seriously. Are you blind or what? I'm a Nikomata, but a special one, said Issei Nikomata, making a strange position. A Nikomata with a special ability? Are you a Nekishu? Said Biko. Of course, Naya, I'm a Nekishu like the Nikomata that's with you, Naya, said Issei Nikomata. So you're one of the Nekishus that are about to become extinct? Said Biko. Exactly, Naya, said the Nikomata happily. So. But I won't join you, Naya, said the Nikomata as if nothing had happened. Hey, why not? Said Vala. Why am I a free spirit, although I'm teaming up with the virgin incubus Naya? Now if you excuse me, I'll go, said Issei Nikomata to leave, but Vala would stop him. If so, answer me a question. Why do you look like Hayada Issei? Vala said seriously. The Nikomata just looked at him with a cat-like smile. Heh, what do you care? Issei said, touching Vala, and H. Vala screamed in pain and pink rays came out. Vala, said Vala's team. Naya ha, laughed in Nikomata, and everyone got into a fighting stance except Issei Nikomata, who remained still. With the incubus. The incubus was being tied up by magical chains by Sona. The incubus saw everything with simplicity. What do we do now, President? Said Saji. I don't know. I have no idea if we take it to the Maos how they will react when they see that the incubus is Haidu, said Sona seriously. We have to do something, Tomo said worriedly. Ha ha ha, beautiful but serious. Hey, how about you free me and we have a night of passion, said the incubus trying to seduce Sona. How about you shut up, Tsubasa said to the incubus. How about you? Even though you don't have the middle ground, at least you have beautiful legs, said the incubus as if nothing had happened, which made Tsubasa angry and he tried to hit him. Shut up, don't you know the situation you're in? Tsubaki said seriously. Despite being serious and cold hidden beneath your uniform of very intense body and tasty, I want something tasty and lick you all, said Issei incubus licking his lips blushing to Tsubaki. Shut up, Sona said authoritatively to the incubus. The good thing is that Rias is not here to see this, Sona said worried that Rias would see what Issei has become. At the Grigory. Azazel-sensei, could you explain to us what happened with Issei when he was with you? Rias said seriously and Azazel was nervous. Well, it's that how did I tell you that Issei and I made a machine to travel dimensions, it exploded and now there are many Isseis and some escaped. Azazel thought nervously. Wani-sama, Asia called to her master. What's going on here? Said a familiar voice behind. The Gremorys and Azazel saw Issei, who was walking. Issei/kun/san/senpai. The Gremorys said happily, but Azazel was serious. Hello everyone, what's going on here? And Rias, what's she doing here? Issei said as if nothing had happened. Nothing, Issei, just asking Azazel what happened the day before, said Rias. Haha, calm down Azazel, and I made a machine that in the end went wrong, exploding into 1,000 pieces XD ha 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 ha, said Issei, laughing and saying an incoherent word. What does that mean? The explosion left you half-witted? Azazel said, following Issei's lead. Wait, explosion? Rias said worriedly. Don't worry, I'm fine, said Issei. The good thing is that he couldn't finish because Azazel-sensei, we have a big problem, said a voice known to everyone. There they saw Issei. Wait! The Gremorys shouted, upset. Issei looked to his left side at the other Issei. I think I understand why you're here, Issei thought seriously. To Issei? Rias said, impressed. Era, what happened? Said Akeno, looking at the two Isseis. Wait, who's the real Issei-kun? Kiba said seriously. I am Issei Hayadu, said the Issei on the left side. No, I'm the real Issei, said the newly arrived Issei. Silence, I'm thinking, Rias said thoughtfully. I have an idea, Rias said and looked at Kaneko and Akeno. Issei, what do you prefer, big-breasted or flat-breasted girls? Rias said as if nothing had happened, confusing everyone. Big/flat chest, said the two Issei. The real one is the newly arrived Issei, said Rias pointing at the Issei who just arrived. It's good that you recognized me, but why did you ask that question? Said Issei. I know Issei very well, I even know that you like big breasts and you never liked flat breasts, Rias said as if nothing had happened, not knowing that Kaneko was angry. Well, that's true, Rias, but don't say it when Kaneko-chan is here, said Issei, nervous to see the Nikomata. Well now, another Issei, you're finished, said Issei looking at Issei. I can't believe that guy with red eyes who looks like me discovered me. He told me never to do this, but because I'm stupid, I didn't listen to him and I did all this, said the other Issei seriously. Well, you're right, said Issei, activating his boosted gear, and the others activated their attacks. Ha ha ha, do you think you can kill me that easily? You have no idea who I really am? Said the other Issei with a smile. So apart from being a pervert and a fan of flats, what else are you supposed to be? Rias said. Ha ha ha. Soy Francesco. Everyone saw that and another Issei ran away at an abnormal speed, but what was most shocking was what he said at the end. What the hell was that? Rias said in shock. I don't know, he ran at full speed until he broke a wall, said Azazel. We have to catch him, said Issei. You're right, guys, let's go after that fake Issei, Rias said seriously, and everyone nodded. Then that son of Aba. And Qua. The Gremory clan were chasing Issei at an abnormal speed. The other Issei was running until he reached the city of Qua. They've arrived for me, said the incubus, confusing the citrus. What? Said Sona. Out of nowhere, the other Issei grabbed the incubator at an abnormal speed. Naya, they came for me, said the Nikomata. He was the only thing they said when they saw the Nikomata being carried by the other Issei. Meanwhile, the Gremory clan kept running, but they were getting tired. Buck, how is it possible that Issei is so fast? Said Rias. Maybe he uses magic to strengthen his legs, Kiba said. I'm getting tired, said Gasper. Don't give up, Gasper, we're almost there, said Zenobia. Look, he went to the alley over there, Roswise said. Well, go ahead, said Issei to run faster. Meanwhile, somewhere else. Hey, don't you think we should help them? Said an adult Issei with red eyes. Nah, leave them anyway, those Isseis are going to be defeated, said a red-eyed Issei. I thought you'd go crazy knowing you, said a female Issei with long white hair. That was before, but now I'm not a new man, now it's time to leave here, the gray-haired one along with the others left, said the red-eyed Issei to open a portal. We just arrived and we have to leave, how boring, said the white-haired girl. Nanami, said the red-eyed Issei to the girl. I know Viji-kun, said Nanami to go to the portal and go to her world. Okay, Fear, go ahead, Viji said to the red-eyed Issei. Okay, said Fear to go to her world. Well, it's time to leave this world even though it's short, said Viji as he went to his own world. Chapter 6. The Gremory group was running late at night just to chase the other Issei, who suddenly appeared and ran an abnormal speed and was now carrying 2 Issei on his shoulders, taking them to a dark alley for no reason. Meanwhile, a certain Cupid was watching everything from a building. So the Gremorys and the Issei of this world are chasing the other Issei, said the Cupid. Behind him was a bespectacled Issei wearing a black suit. Yes, that Issei gathered other Isseis and escaped from the Grigory just to get revenge on Rias and her entourage, said the Issei. Don't you know that revenge is not good and kills the soul? Said Cupid. You're right, revenge is a poison, but there are times when it can become a medicine, said Issei, and the Cupid was confused. In case you didn't understand me, revenge can fill you with satisfaction and release that feeling of fury and sadness. Many people say it's good and others say it's bad. It's your decision. After all, you are an Issei who was cheated on by his girlfriend and brother, said the Issei with glasses, seriously looking at the Issei Cupid. You're right, but the good thing is that it wasn't Rias. Thanks to her and her entourage, I was able to find happiness, but my brother arrived. I had to fight him, and I defeated him, and I realized that my girlfriend was controlled by my brother. Her last words were that she wanted to feel what love and happiness are because I was always the best at everything and my brother was the shadow, said the serious Cupid. Sorry if I brought up a sensitive topic, but leaving that aside, now we have to look for the other Isseis, said the serious Isseis with glasses. And where could they be? Said the Cupid. Knowing those Isseis who escaped, they will surely go to Quip plot to kill Rizavim and then go kill the factions, said the serious Issei, and the Cupid was surprised. Yeah, then we must stop them now, said Issei. Calm down, don't stress out, we'll go to where Rizavim and his group are, but we'll need someone's help, said Issei, and behind him was an Issei with glasses wearing the Qua Academy uniform. I introduce you, his name is Issei Tano, said the serious Issei, introducing the other Issei. Issei Tano, what can he do? I have the ability to see death, thanks to the perception of the mystical eyes of death, said Issei. Well, I have to say that it is a useful skill, said the Cupid Issei. Do you want me to show it to you? Tano said seriously. Don't do it, said Issei seriously. Now let's go to where Rizavim is, said the bespectacled Issei. By the way, who are the other Isseis? Said the Cupid. I don't know, the only thing I know is that there's an Issei with a strange mask similar to that of a red rooster, and a white-haired Issei, said the Issei with glasses. Well, let's put this conversation aside and let's go, said Issei to activate a magic circle and disappear from sight. Back to Qua. Issei and the Gremory clan could be seen walking to the alley where Issei was. Now if you've made me angry, I'll take you to Grigory with your body burned and dragged, said Issei angrily but suddenly. Several Isseis appeared. But what the buck? Issei said in shock seeing so many Issei. The Issei were staring at the Issei and the Gremory clan, some disappointed and others serious. Ha, I knew this would happen one day, so I gathered several Issei to finish you and the Gremorys, said Issei happily. How many Isseis? Said Rias surprised. It's true, Issei-kun, what did you and Azazel-san do? Roswise said in surprise. I wondered the same thing too, Issei said nervously. I've had enough, you fourth-rate pervert, Issei said to the original Issei. Redhead cow from South Park, Issei said to Rias. Black cow, he said to Akeno. Homosexual prince, he said to Kiba. Flat cat, he said to Kaneko. Dio's trap and showed a copy, he said to Gasper. Cheap blonde, he said to Asia. Airhead, he said to Zenobia. Spinster, he said to Roswise. It's time for you guys to die xxxddd. He couldn't finish because. Pam. Kaneko kicked him in the groin, and the sound of something breaking was even heard. Suddenly a sacred lightning and power of destruction passed over Issei, and Issei screamed and fell off the ground. Issei without hesitation activated his balance breaker. Al adequi! Issei shouts to attack the Isseis. Issei was throwing dragon shoots at the Isseis, blowing them away. Rias launched spheres of the power of destruction at the Isseis. Akeno electrocuted the Isseis. Kiba left the Isseis unconscious. Kaneko hit the Isseis in the crotch. Asia just covered herself and watched everything in shock. Zenobia struck the Isseis with the handle of her sword. Gasper used his sacred gear to stop the Isseis. Roswise launched magical attacks. Meanwhile, two Isseis were watching everything and had a sniper rifle. Okay, shoot the original, said Issei, pointing at the red armor. Wait, this weapon has a very powerful sound, it could make you deaf, give me earplugs, said Issei, aiming with the sniper. I forgot them in the car, said Issei. Now tell me what we'll do, I don't want to go deaf, said the other Issei. Wait, I heard a trick to not go deaf, said Issei to another Issei. Really? Said Issei. To avoid damaging your ears, you should cover your mouth and nose, said Issei. Are you sure? Issei said, confused. Yes, let's try it, said the Issei. The two covered their mouths and noses, and Issei fired the rifle, causing a loud sound. Awahi, you told me nothing would happen, Issei shouted, rolling on the ground. What did you say? Shouted Issei, doing the same. Return. An orange sweater wearing Issei was running to escape. Was the only thing Issei said before running away, but he would be pierced by the bullet from the Isseis above, killing him instantly. Oh no, Issei, I said to Issei. Sons of hitches, said the furious Issei to the Gremory clan. Now the place looked like many Isseis on the ground. In the middle of the Isseis there was an Issei with glasses. Ah well, said Issei nervously upon seeing the Gremory clan. I'll tell you a joke, said the nervous Issei. What did you think? Said Issei nervously. But what a strange and bad joke, said the Gremorys to Issei. So, he said to tell another joke. Ha 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 ha, that was a good one, Issei said laughing. And the others were laughing too. How funny, ha ha ha. Another, said an Issei behind the Gremory group. It was the one that Kaneko had kicked in the manhood. Wait, how are you still standing after I kicked you in the crotch? Issei said surprised. I have my secrets, now they'll say it's me, said Issei. Exactly, tell me it's you, Rias said seriously. Let's just say I'm someone no one wants to meet, for defeating me you have a gift, said Issei, giving a gift to the Gremorys. And this? Asia said as she opened the gift, and there was a time bomb. Wait for this, Rias said in surprise. By fools! Issei shouted as he sped off. Damn son of a... 5. The bomb exploded, causing a large current of smoke. The smoke dissipated, revealing the Gremory clan on the ground. You'll see that, Issei. I'm going to kick him in the face, Issei said angrily. I'll electrocute him so much in the crotch until he explodes, said Akeno furiously. Let's calm down. That Issei escaped, but we're going to capture him later. Now we're going for that Issei over there, said Rosweiss, pointing at the Issei who told the jokes, but he was gone. Oh, forget what I said, Rosweiss said embarrassedly. Minutes later. Great, now that Issei has escaped, Rias said. Now what do we do? Said Asia. I think we should get Issei-senpai's clone, said Gasper. Gasper, Koi is a medium-sized city, so Issei could perhaps be anywhere in the city, or in the underworld, heaven, or in territories of other mythologies, said Akeno. I think the same, said a voice above them. Above him was Vala and his team. Vala? Issei surprised. What are you doing here, Hakuroku? Rias said seriously when she saw Vala. Calm down, Gremory, we just came to see the Nikomata that was around here, said Biko. Wasn't Sona supposed to be the one in charge of doing that? Rias said. I gave permission to the Hakuroku, said a voice, and in front of him was Sona with her entourage. Sona, Rias said in surprise. Just like the Hakuroku, we came for the Nikomata and the incubus, said Sona. But someone took the incubus, said Saji. What a coincidence, the Nikomata was also taken away, said Arthur. But the most impressive thing was that it looked like, Sona said seriously. Hiya to Issei, said Vala and Sona. Everyone looked at Issei, who was nervous. Hey, I don't. Suddenly his cell phone rang and he answered. Hola, Daijo Issei. Hey Issei, why did you refuse to come with us to watch adult videos? Said Motohama's voice. Well, surely there was another Issei in the academy. Issei thought the last thing nervously. Tell me, are you hiding something? Motohama said seriously. And then no way, said Issei. Then why did you reject the proposal? Motohama said seriously. Well, me, Issei said nervously. If you really haven't changed, then come here and watch adult videos, Motohama said. Yes, Issei said to listen. What happened? Rias said. They called to find out why I rejected the proposal to go to their house, even though I wasn't at the academy, Issei said. So it was an Issei, Asia said, and Issei nodded. An Issei? Sona said, confused. The thing is, there are other Isseis in other places, Rias said. Well, that explains why that Nikomata looked like you, and also the Isseis lying on the ground, said Vala, looking at the Isseis on the ground. But most importantly, how did all this happen? Sona said seriously. And everyone looked at Issei again. Well, let's say that Azazel created a very strange machine, said Issei nervously. And what was that machine like? Sona said seriously. Well, he couldn't finish because Rias spoke first. Guys, we have to go to the underworld quickly, Rias said, upset. Hey, why? Said Sona. Onisama called me and told me that the underworld is being attacked by a strangely shaped evil dragon, Rias said, upset. Wait, they all said in surprise. We'll leave the conversation, we have to go to the underworld, Rias said to everyone present. Underworld. In the underworld, all the demons could be seen screaming and running like crazy. This was because some kind of strange being was attacking. Raggggggggg, the roar of a dragon was heard. In Lilith Square there was a strange-looking black dragon. It had the shape of a centipede and a giant mouth. Don't be afraid! The demons shouted to attack the dragon, but they would be killed and eaten by the dragon. Raggggggggg, the dragon roared louder to charge forward, destroying everything in its path. Equip plot. Several of Quiplot's soldiers could be seen dead. Orange flames were everywhere. Base. The sound of something hitting was heard. A soldier was kicked in the face. From the flames came a strange sort of person wearing a strange mask. "Finish him off! There are more of us than him!" shouted one of the guards, attacking the strange being. In the underworld, a woman and a child could be seen running to avoid being caught, but suddenly the child fell. "Come on, son," said the mother to lift her son. But the centipede dragon was about to ram them. "Watch out!" the mother shouted, covering her son with her body, but the mother and son looked at the dragon, who was tied up by some large thorns. "Get out of here, I'll take care of him," said a familiar voice. Up in the skies of the underworld was a brown-haired man with long, loose hair and beautiful butterfly wings on his back. "Look, Mom, it's the Issei dragon. Defeat that monster," said the boy, a nickname, implying that he was an Issei. "I will," said Issei to stand in front of the dragon. The dragon roared, trying to break free until he decided to use his ability. "Heart reading," he said to read the dragon's heart. "Revenge, revenge, Shio-chan, Essay Shio-chan, bring me back," were the dragon's thoughts. "So you're an Issei," said Issei seriously, looking at the dragon. "A Quiplot. Now is all you can offer me," said the being, kicking the guards. "Wow, I never thought my otherworldly self would go crazy," said a voice behind him. Standing was a white-haired man wearing a black trench coat, a red sweater, and black pants. On his back was a large sword, a revolver in his left hand, and a strange arm. "You don't get involved," said the serious fighter. "I'm sorry, but someone told me to keep an eye on you and another person whose whereabouts I don't know, so give up and stop this absurd revenge," said the white-haired man. "Never," said the fighter. "You don't know the pain I feel. My loved ones abandoned me and went off with another guy. They took Drake from me. They ripped off my wings and I lost my memory. Then I was found in a town and made a new family, but the memories tormented me. I fought and fought to find out who I am. When I regained my memory, I went crazy and destroyed everything. When I was about to get revenge, someone ripped off my arms and left me to die. I don't want to feel this pain ever again," the fighter shouted, expelling orange flames. "In Lilith. You know there are innocent people here, right?" Issei said seriously, and the dragon roared. The chestnut used his ability again. "How would you know what I feel? My girls left me for someone else, and then I suffered the fall of the dragon. Then the Quiplot found me. They tortured me and raped me. I thought I was going to die, but my angel found me and protected me, but because of that I suffered from love sickness, but I don't regret it. Then the factions found me and wanted me back. I killed almost all of Tokyo. I killed some supernatural beings. I thought I would be happy, but someone who looked like me appeared and fought with me, killed everyone, even Shio-chan, and then he killed me. You don't pain anymore," the dragon roared loudly. Now, the fighter and the dragon could not finish. "I know how you feel," the white-haired and the brown-haired boy shouted. "I know how it feels to be abandoned. The girls who loved me left me for my idiot brother. The only ones who were by my side were Rias, Irina, and Ravel. Then I died of hypothermia and depression, but a light appeared in front of me. It was my teacher. He trained me to be the fairy king and told me not to fall into anger and to protect my loved ones. I know my pain is not as painful as yours, but I know how it feels to be abandoned," said the fairy king seriously, shedding a tear. "I know how it feels to be discarded by the people you trusted the most. My girls left me to be with my idiot brother. The leaders tortured me and threw me off a cliff, but I awakened an ancient power capable of surpassing the ancient demons. I trained, fought, and killed whoever stood in my way. When I returned to the underworld, I fought against my brother and my loved ones to later reveal that they were controlled by my brother. Upon finding out that I transformed into my devil trigger form and lost control of my powers, Rias and the others died to stop me. They told me it wasn't my fault and to never fall into hatred and revenge," said the serious white-haired man, shedding a tear. "Just give up. I don't want to fight someone who's suffered more than me," said the fairy king and the hunter. "Never!" shouted the dragon and the fighter. "So," said the brown-haired and the white-haired. The fairy king took out a golden spear and the hunter a sword. Go forward! Both boys said as they jumped on their opponents and started a fight. Chapter 7 Issei Hada vs Issei Yandere, Zenobia and Kiba vs Gladius. It can't be, an evil dragon is attacking Lilith, Rias said seriously. Calm down, Rias, I'm sure Search-sama and the other Maos will take care of it, said Akeno, calming Rias. Suddenly a bat appeared on Rias's shoulder. So you found other Isseis, Rias said to her familiar. Zenobia, Kiba take care of the Isseis, the rest of us will go to the underworld, Rias said seriously, and her knights nodded. We'll go too, Sona said, and her entourage agreed. Okay, fine, I'll go with you, and I want to know the strength of that dragon, Vala said, smiling. Okay, go ahead, Rias said, activating the teleportation magic circle. In the underworld Lilith Plaza. Yes, I could see the Fairy King looking seriously at the dragon. I'll tell you once more, give up. I don't want to fight against someone who's suffered more than me, said the Fairy King Issei, feeling sadness and pain in the dragon's heart. The dragon's body exploded with pink electricity which it directed at the Fairy King, who narrowly dodged the lightning, but a tail strike sent him crashing through a building. Rahggh, the dragon roared, killing some demons that were attacking from the air. You won't give up like that, will you? Said the Fairy King, emerging from the rubble. Then Baskia's spiritual spear formed 9 thorns of death, he said, and then thorns came out and stuck in the body of the dragon that roared. To his surprise, the thorns disintegrated as the rays destroyed them on contact. Rahggh, Yandere roared and began to fire pink laser beams from his jaws at the Fairy King. The Fairy King dodged every attack from the evil dragon without any problem. It seems it won't be so easy to beat you, he said, to move his fingers and his spear would move. The golden spear spun and swung back and forth, cutting into the dragon and causing minor injuries. Now disaster, he said, to activate his ability and enlarge his wounds and start to bleed a lot. Rahggh, the dragon roared, throwing himself furiously at the Fairy King. The fairy stepped back to get her hands on the copy of Thor's hammer. Take this! Shouted the Fairy King, launching thunder attacks at the dragon, electrocuting it. The dragon roared in pain until he fell unconscious. He suffered so much damage that he fell to the ground. Ah, the evil dragon has been defeated, said the demons when they saw the dragon on the ground and saw Issei. Isn't that the Sekiryutai? The demon said, looking at the Fairy King. I don't know, but he looks a lot like him, said the demons when they saw the Fairy King. The Fairy King came to see how he disappeared, and instead of the dragon, it was a pink-haired Issei with red eyes. I don't know how much you suffered in your world, but it must have been worse than Purgatory and Tartarus together. Don't worry, I'll take you to Grigory and talk to Azazel-san, said the Fairy King, seriously looking at Issei. He knew that if he returned to his world he would suffer again, and he would talk to Azazel to see what they could do with him in this world. But before he got closer, he is taken by someone, a blue-haired girl. Tu-chan is mine, said the girl, flying away, and at the same time her wings shot out feathers of sacred energy, killing the demons that were chasing them. Wait, said the Fairy King to use his wings and chase the girl. Meanwhile, the other part. In a bar you can see a calm Issei, brown hair and orange eyes. I was eating an apple while watching the whole Isseis vs Classic Isseis scandal. At the entrance of the bar entered an Issei wearing a black sleeveless shirt, a black cape, brown pants and black shoes. He sat next to the other Issei. Oh, hello, another me? I'm Gladius, and you? Said the knight Issei. I am Issei Hayadu, the king of the Fangires, said Issei, introducing himself. I am the Lord of Justice, and he knows where we are. A few moments ago I was fighting in Issei and I was transported to this world, said Gladius. We are in dimension number 1 where the first Issei was born, to be as clear as possible the dimension of the first Issei, said Issei King Fangire. Classic Issei? Is he strong? Said Gladius. Fangire looked at the power level of the classic Issei on his cell phone. Power, 150, was at the level of the weakest Issei. Defect, extremely perverted. Oh, how bad! I wanted to fight him to test his power, said Gladius, disappointed. Tell that to your creator, said King Fangire seriously. Well, I'll see if I can find someone to fight, Gladius said as he left the bar. Upon leaving the bar, he ran into Zenobia, who knocked down some Iseis and they were handcuffed. Ugh, they cost me a lot of work, but I finally caught them, said Zenobia seriously. Damn it, no, this can't be happening, said the third Issei. Call my lawyer, said the second Issei. Ah, the Enlightened 1-7 was defeated again. Damn meta-head girlfriend of the Antichrist 2007, said the first Issei. Before Zenobia left, she looked at Gladius. Interesting, you are strong. Tell me you carry the Experiment, said Gladius. And what if I carry Experiment? Said Zenobia, preparing her weapon. I'm an Issei, but call me Gladius, warlording you. In a blink of an eye, he kissed Zenobia. Zenobia dropped the sword and reciprocated the kiss that was full of lust. Zenobia was surprised by the sudden kiss from the other Issei, but after a second she regained her sanity. No, stop, I am only Isseis. Even if you are one, I belong only to Issei, were Zenovia's thoughts when she felt Gladius's kiss. Meanwhile, the king watched everything. Incredible, said the king. Meanwhile, Kiba was exposed to other Issei. Okay, I'm done, I'll go tell the president, Kiba said to call Rias. Yes, Kiba? Rias said. President, I've already captured the other Isseis, said Kiba. Well done, now transport them to the Grigory. Azazel will take care of it, said Rias. Understood, Kiba said as he hung up. Kiba teleported the Isseis with a magic circle. Well, now to go for Zenobia, he said to leave. Ending the kiss, Zenobia was breathing softly and was on Gladius's lap. You know, my goal in life is to have a strong son to train with and be happy, said Gladius, caressing Zenovia's belly, making her moan submissively. You are the perfect candidate to give me a child. You don't need to take charge. Give me a child, I will raise him, said Gladius. I'm sorry, but that won't happen, said King Fangire. Then crystalline marks came out of his face, and his eyes and his fangs came out. Your life will be mine, said King Fangire in a cold tone as he sank his fangs into Gladius. But the gladiator instinctively dodged Issei's fangs. Tejodi la idea no? Daijo Issei, the King Fangire. Why do you interfere? It's none of your business, said Gladius to summon his white Roman armor with a cape and a beautiful sword. Of course it's my business, after all I was sent by him to prevent an Issei from doing something crazy like what you're doing. Also, don't talk to me like that, you inferior, he said as he changed his clothes, a black trench coat with small chains and red ribbons, black boots and his Zambat sword. But he is soon interrupted by Zenobia, who stood up with Experiment and blushed at Gladius. Kiba ran to where Zenobia was and met the two Isseis. What was going on here? He said, seeing everything. Damn you, I'll kill you for groping me, said Zenobia angrily and blushing. Kiba looked at the blushing Zenobia and understood the situation. Understood, he said as he drew his sword. So you're also a swordsman too? Said Gladius. Yes, my name is Kiba Yudo, the Gremory Knight, and you are? Said Kiba. My name is Gladius, the warlord, said Gladius. I recommend you leave, this Issei is not normal, said the king seriously. That's right, I'm the third-ranked Issei in the top 10 strongest Issei in the multiverse, said Gladius. Zenobia Corda, be my wife, Gladius said to Zenobia, surprising both knights. Never, I belong only to Issei, he will give me a son, said Zenobia seriously. That's how you talk, the king said to Zenobia. Fine, just give me an epic fight, warlord, said Gladius, summoning from the dream different weapons of different shapes and sizes. Each one had many powers. Zenobia and Kiba prepared to fight. Ready, Kiba? Zenobia said, prepared. Of course, he said, preparing Graham. It's their fight, so I'm not going to intervene, said the king as he walked away. Warhammer! Gladius soon launched himself, while in his hands he took out a warhammer that hit Kiba's sword, making his arms tremble. Damn! Kiba shouted, his arms shaking as he dodged Gladius's attack. Zenobia without hesitation decided to make a cut from behind. But Gladius summoned a shield that upon impact, Zenobia was knocked back as the shield pushed her away. My shield reflects any form of physical attack with more than double the power. My ability is called Warlord. I can use all the weapons of the past, present, and future, said Gladius, who summoned a rapier and a double-edged axe. Zenobia felt a strong pain throughout her body. Kiba without hesitation summoned several surrounding Gladius and cut Gladius with Gram. Isn't that the Gram, the sword Siegfried used? Said Gladius, who saw that his shoulder was bleeding. Yes, it belonged to the homunculus Siegfried of the hero faction, Kiba said seriously to give another cut. Gladius took out 2 green daggers and cut Kiba, the blonde who wounded them healed by absorbing his blood. Zweihander! Gladius exclaimed, striking Kiba with a huge sword that sent him crashing through a building. Kiba! Zenobia shouted upon seeing her partner. Damn you! Zenobia shouted to use the power of Excalibur Destruction and hit him with said power. This power was stopped by Zweihander, who, upon colliding with Excalibur Destruction, lost his strength. Zweihander steals the strength and strengthens my sword, said Gladius to strike Excalibur Destruction, surprising Zenobia. No, it can't be, Zenobia whispered in shock. Gladius summoned a rapier, striking Zenobia in the nerves, leaving her paralyzed and knocked to the ground. Gladius put away his weapons and sighed. What a disappointment! I expected more from my future wife. What a shame, said Gladius as he left. The king looked at everything with a serious face. He saw the building where Kiba and Zenobia were lying on the ground. I thought you wanted to fight me, right? Said Issei King Fanair seriously, looking at Gladius. We can fight now if you want. I can see you're strong, right? Said Gladius, activating his white armor. Back in the underworld, the Gremory clan, Citri, along with Vala's team, could be seen arriving at the underworld. Hey, where's the evil dragon? Rias said, looking at Lilith Plaza. Rias, said a voice in front of her, and she saw Searches. Oni-sama, what happened here? Rias said to Searches. An evil dragon in the shape of a centipede attacked Lilith Plaza, killing each of the guards, but suddenly someone attacked the dragon and defeated it very easily, and out of nowhere a blue-haired girl appeared and flew away with someone, and the winner went to chase him, explained Searches. Really? But who was the one who defeated the evil dragon? Rias said. It was someone who had large butterfly wings, but what surprises me, Max, is that he looked like... Searches said nervously. Who did he look like? Issei said. Ah, Issei-kun, said Searches, and everyone was surprised. How, really? Rias said, surprised. Yes, and not only that, when the dragon disappeared, he revealed someone who also looked like Issei-kun, but with pink hair and red eyes, said Searches seriously, looking at Issei. And everyone looked at Issei again, even after the guards. I think you need a serious explanation, said Issei, sighing. Yes, let's go to the mansion to talk in private, Searches said seriously, and the others followed him. Quip plot. Elsewhere, a white-haired boy in worn-out clothes could be seen. He was grabbing a Ryzovim by the head, who had serious injuries all over his body. What the hell are you doing? Let me go, damn security, said Ryzovim. Hee hee. If so, why are you killing us? Ryzovim said. Because yes, he said, smashing his skull with a grip, killing him instantly. Well, one less annoyance. Now tell that weird masked man to finish and go after the factions to kill them, said the white-haired man happily. I'm sorry, but that won't happen, said a voice behind him. There was an Issei wearing a white trench coat. Well, it's just my other self, you always break my balls, said the white-haired man furiously. The only thing I want to ask you is to stop this absurd revenge, surrender and come with me to Grigory, said Issei seriously. Never, the white-haired man shouted to hit him, but Issei dodged him. If you don't understand the good way, he said to activate a demonic mark, and a dark purple aura surrounded him. You'll understand it the hard way, Issei said seriously. Get ready, Urizen, the monster will kill you, he said as he launched himself at Issei. Chapter 8 Issei the King Fangire vs Gladius Nero vs Blaziken. Everyone was gathered in the Gremory's mansion. The faction leaders, the two clans, and the white team were gathered in the main hall. Well, Issei, explain. Before Rias could say anything, the door opens revealing an eye-patched albino, something Issei knew who. So everyone is gathered, said God Slayer seriously. Rias saw who. He couldn't finish because he saw the albino's face. Issei, Azazel and Isee. Mouse, what? The mouse said in surprise. Yes, I'm an Issei like that good-for-nothing pervert over there, said God Slayer pointing at Issei. Issei, hey, I try my best to control my perversion, Issei said angrily. Searches, are you really Issei-kun? You look different, Searches said seriously. God Slayer, yes, there are many versions of us, but they are stronger, like the dragon that attacked your city. One of you opened the door to the multiverse, said the albino. Issei, okay, I admitted Azazel and I built a machine to travel dimensions, but suddenly it was destroyed by a virus from the Chaos Brigade and an explosion occurred that caused many Isseis to appear. Some stayed helping Azazel repair the machine and others escaped. Issei explained the situation. You have ideas about what they caused? They opened a door to the multiverse, and the worst thing is that the top 10 are loose, said God Slayer, hitting both Issei and Azazel on the head. Issei, tell that to Azazel, he had the brilliant idea to do it, so it's his fault. Azazel, look who's talking, you're also partly to blame because I'll help you make the machine, Azazel said. Searches, wait, you said multiverse and top 10, what do you mean? Searches said seriously. Stopping beating Issei and Azazel, God Slayer looked at the rest. The multiverse is a large world plane filled with different worlds connected to each other where different versions of you exist, said God Slayer. Everyone. Of us? They all said, confused. Issei, are you saying that there are not only versions of me, but also of them? He said, pointing at the Gremory clan, the Citri clan, Vala's team, the faction leaders. That's right, how else would you explain so many Isseis that appeared? Said God Slayer. Issei, well, I saw an Issei who wanted to get revenge on Rias and the others 1 minute. Issei said, understanding what God Slayer meant. Issei, what did Rias do to that Issei to make him get revenge on her? Issei said seriously. It's a long story, each universe has different stories, one you're good. Another you're bad, the same applies to each of you, said God Slayer. At that moment Zenobia and Kiba appeared, very injured, scaring everyone. Issei/Rias, Zenobia, Kiba. They both said worriedly, approaching their companions. Rias, what happened? Rias said worriedly. We fought against an Issei called Gladius. He was very strong. He destroyed my Excalibur destruction, said Zenobia. You fought against Gladius from the top 10. You're lucky to get out alive, said God Slayer. Zenobia, hey wait, you're an Issei. What are you doing here? Zenobia said seriously as she was healed. I'm helping now that the situation with the other Issei is out of control. The top 10 are the hardest to deal with. Gladius is one of them, said God Slayer. Issei, who are the 10 strongest in the multiverse? Issei said seriously. Searches, I'm curious about that. Searches said. The 10 greats or 10 grand Isseis are the 10 strongest Isseis of their respective worlds, so much so that each one can defeat or kill Great Red. They are very strong. I occupy the second place of the top 10, said God Slayer. All EHHHH. Issei, me, are you saying that my selves from other worlds can finish with the Great Red alone? Issei said nervously and in shock. Rias, how can they be so strong? Rias said in surprise. Simple. Each of us has unique abilities that make us strong. Gladius the warlord is in third place. He is a lover of justice and is like Zenobia when it comes to wanting a child, said God Slayer. Azazel, wow, Zenobia, it seems someone shares your idea, ha ha ha. If I fall, Azazel of Zenobia. Zenobia, hey, she said angrily. Issei, but the most important thing is how can we defeat the Isseis? I can't face them in my current state. Issei said seriously. All Isseis are different, but they have a weakness that they have from birth, said God Slayer. Issei, seriously? Searches, and what is it? Searches said. Hitting the crotch very hard is his greatest weakness, said God Slayer seriously. Everyone fell on their backs anime style because of that. Issei, wait, where have I heard that before? Issei said, feeling déjà vu. God Slayer, as ridiculous as it may be, it takes the strength of Kaneko or a Mao to hit an Issei's crotch and knock him out. It works on anyone no matter how strong they are, said God Slayer. Kaneko approached Issei and kicked him in the groin, causing him to fall to the ground, grabbing his private parts. Issei, why did you do it? Issei shouted, rolling on the ground while grabbing his privates. Searches, that was a little weird, Searches said, smiling nervously. Kaneko, I wanted to check if it was true, but now the albino senpai is right, said Kaneko expressionlessly. Rias, please don't do that, Kaneko. I know you're angry because that Issei called you a flat cat, Rias said seriously. Kaneko, how strange, the other time I tried it almost didn't work against Issei. Issei, I hope what you said wasn't because you hate me, Issei said, getting up. It will be better, oh my god, said God Slayer, looking at an Issei, but not just anyone, it was an Issei Gremory. You want to be my servants, I Kindle Gremory will give you all if you are my friends, said Issei Gremory. Gremory? The Gremory clan members said in surprise. Issei, is this Issei? Said Issei, aiming at Kendall Gremory. Oh, you're the male version of Iseei, he wants to be my pawn, said Kendall, showing his evil pierce. Issei, no, I'm already Rias's pawn, besides who Iseei, said Issei. Searches, that red hair, that face resembling Issei, and that aura, are you a Gremory? Searches said to the newcomer. Yes, Oni-sama, I am the current heir of the Gremory family, Kendall Hyades, said Issei Gremory. Don't pay attention to him, he's a nobody who doesn't have a friend, said God Slayer, making Kendall cry and hug Rosweiss. Kendall, our Rosweiss-san, comfort me, said Issei Gremory, hugging Rosweiss. Issei, get away from her, Issei shouted, kicking Kendall and sending him flying. Michael, wait a moment, we are getting off topic. The Security says that he and Azazel created a machine to travel dimensions, but it exploded, and now there are many Issei, and that there are strong Issei capable of killing Great Red and the Multiverse, Michael said seriously. Michael, tell me, is there something else besides Big Red and Father, a powerful being? Michael said seriously. In fact, in the multiverse there are the gods called celestials, beings that create and destroy worlds with just a snap of their fingers. They create universes with Isseis or supernatural beings, said God Slayer. Everyone was surprised by God Slayer's words. Issei, they are so strong, and how do you know about them? Issei said. I ran into one in the past. Luckily the biggest threat is the Grand Issei. We must act quickly or the situation will get bad, said God Slayer. Searches, you're right. We have to fix this big problem once and for all before they go to other mythologies and cause a big disaster. Issei, yes, but the biggest problem is that we don't know where the other Isseis are, Issei said. Zenobia, the only Issei of the strongest, is in Kwa as well as the other Issei, and the other Isseis who escaped, Zenobia said seriously. It would be best to go for him. I will face Gladius. You do not interfere since he is stronger than you together, said God Slayer seriously, and the others nodded. Where is Gladius? Said the albino, looking at Zenobia. It's located in Kwa City near the plaza, said Zenobia. Well, let's go. Gremory activates the teleportation magic circle, said God Slayer seriously. Why yes, Rias said nervously, and she activated the magic circle. It didn't take long for them to arrive at the location of the fight. Rias and her entourage, Sona and her group, and the leaders saw what would be a confrontation between two Isseis. God Slayer stood at their sides watching. Von Eyre will take care of Gladius, said God Slayer. I will fight you, so that you never bother anyone in this dimension again, Von Eyre said seriously. Kivit second. Out of nowhere a black bat appeared. Kivit, prepare to die, said the bat to go into Fangeyre's hands. Gaburi. The bat bit Issei's hand. Marks came out of his hand and chains appeared on his waist, forming a black belt. Henshin. He said to place the kivit on the belt, and green waves appeared, and out of nowhere a black suit appeared on Issei. Issei the king, Fangeyre. I am Issei Hayaду, the king of the Fangeyres and Dark Kiva, said the king seriously. Everyone was surprised to see Issei's suit. Issei Fanire? Who is that Issei? Issei said. Interesting, I'm going, Warlord said Gladius, exploding in a pillar of fire, revealing his appearance. A white Roman armor with a red cape. On the ground shines, bringing out many weapons of all shapes. Gladius, the Lord of War, said Gladius. Dark Kiva, go ahead, he said, to take out Zambat and be ready to fight. Dark Kiva, Issei Gladius, the third most powerful Issei in the multiverse, can summon weapons from any time. His weapons have powerful abilities. I must be careful, the king thought seriously. Soon Gladius stepped on the ground, making 5 miniguns emerge, pointing at Fanire. Take that, Iron Storm, he exclaims, firing many miniguns. Fanire took the bullets, dodged some, and received some. Dark Kiva, damn, said the king, stepping away and jumping, then slashing with his Zambat. Attacking with his sword, Gladius summoned his shield, which when blocking pushed Fanire felt like his own strength pushed him away. Starbuster, exclaimed Gladius, summoning his rapier and launching a shower of thrusts. With the factions. They are really strong, they could defeat the super demons, the seraphim and the cadres like nothing, said the surprised leaders. Godslayer-san, how strong are they? Michael said. Enough to kill Big Red in their respective worlds. His strength struggles for a moment, but he holds back so as not to attract too many troublesome enemies, said Godslayer seriously, watching the fight. With Gladius and Fanire. The fight was increasingly close. Fanire managed to adapt to Gladius's speed. I'll have to get serious now, yeah, he said, kicking Gladius's armor, making him step back. Now, he said to summon Kiva's mark above Gladius, and when it made contact it exploded. Devil Lance! Exclaimed Gladius, launching himself against Fanire with his spear wrapped in fire against the pillar of fire. Zambat Destruction! He shouted, then his demonic and sacred energy collided with the pillar of fire. After finishing, Gladius steps back and looks at Dark Kiva. You are really strong, in which top does it belong? Said Gladius, walking around Fanire while summoning his Spartan sword and his Viking axe. I really don't know. I've killed several Dark Issei capable of killing Ophis and equaling the Great Red plus a creation of the Celestial Joker. I think I would be in the 20th or 15th place of the top, Dark Kiva said seriously, and then raised and lowered the bat of his sword and clones came out of him. Joker's creation, are you talking about the Dark Celestial? Well, I can also fight seriously, God of War, said Gladius, using a different armor. It was a blacker armor with gold details. It was surrounded by 1,000,000 weapons, both from the ground and air. Let's dance, my brother! Exclaimed Gladius, increasing his power so much. Oh shit, he said to dodge Gladius's swords. What the hell is this power? The clones said, dodging and clashing swords. Little by little the clones were massacred by the countless weapons, and the very wounded idiot Gladius destroyed everything in his path, since his weapons destroyed. If this continued, it would end with attracting the other Isseis more difficult. Ha 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 ha! Kaneko walked behind Gladius and with force kicked him in the back and his crotch. So much so that all his weapons disappeared into particles of magic and his armor deactivated. Gladius fell unconscious under the incredulous gaze of everyone, seeing how the fight ended. Hey, why did you do that? Dark Kiva said angrily. I was about to unleash my other powers. Kaneko, he was destroying the entire city of Ko, so I stopped him, said Kaneko simply. With the factions. Everyone was shocked that Kaneko defeated Gladius in a simple and humiliating way. Godslayer, don't buck with me, he defeated the third strongest Godslayer, whispers. Dark Kiva looked at everything with a face of disappointment. He wanted a real fight, but he was defeated by a blow to the balls by Kaneko. It seems I have no choice, he said, taking out a phoenix tear to heal Gladius's wounds. What the hell are you doing? There's no need to fight again, said Godslayer, approaching Fanire. I was expecting an epic fight between Isseis. All the Isseis I've fought have died. I wanted to unleash all my power, and I know that those who are watching want to see an epic fight, but since this is a comedy it had to end like this, said the king, breaking the fourth wall. Meanwhile, Issei 1702, damn, stop breaking the fourth wall, it costs a lot to repair. Return. Damn, that hurt, who was it? Exclaimed Gladius, returning in his war god form, looking at the factions. But you're right, there's no reason to fight anymore, by the way, Faunire said, giving her a necklace. And this? Said Godslayer. Use it and you'll know, Faunire said seriously. Godslayer puts on the necklace and is suddenly enveloped in white light. What is this power? Godslayer said, feeling more power. Use its power, and you will know, said King Faunire seriously. Godslayer raised his hand to Gladius, and chains surrounded Gladius. Faunire, these chains will seal his power. It will be impossible for him to free himself, Faunire said seriously. What the hell? Wait, I haven't fought everyone yet. Hey pervert, said Gladius to the classic Issei. Help me, Gladius exclaimed to Issei. No, I caused this problem and I have to solve it, Issei said seriously, looking at Gladius. Hey, if you help us, I can free you. There are many strong Isseis. Help us defeat them, and you can have your fight. I'm in second place in the top 10, said Godslayer. I see, well, I'll help you in return. I want to have a child with a strong woman, said Gladius. What can we do now? Faunire said to Godslayer. He wants a strong woman, and he also ordered me to make sure that no Issei does anything crazy. What will we do if we don't do what he wants? King Faunire said in Godslayer's ear. Simple, we'll look for someone. We need all the help if we want to fight and win against the other top Isseis. Gladius was just the beginning, said Godslayer. You're right. By the way, they told me that VG left here of his own free will, so it won't be a problem. But someone named Urizen is on the loose according to what that glasses-wearing Issei told him, and he's now heading where Urizen and Rizavim are, that is, the Chaos Brigade, said King Faunire seriously. King Faunire said seriously. There is no doubt, they are going to massacre him. Poor them, they won't come out alive. VG is my friend, I'll call him. I have his number, said Godslayer, taking out his cell phone. Faunire. It will be of great help, Faunire said seriously. Meanwhile, in Quip plot, you could see the two Issei looking seriously. I'll tell you one more time, give up, Nero said seriously, looking at Blaziken. In response, he received a kick that he completely dodged, but he released his sword, which stuck into the ground. If you don't understand the good way, then, he said to grab Red Queen and shine of intense red. You'll understand it the hard way, he said, then raised his sword. Give me a fight worthy of my name, said Blaziken to deliver a rain of kicks that Nero blocked. The white-haired man without hesitation made several cuts that Blaziken dodged and did a somersault, and then gave a flying kick that Nero blocked with a Red Queen. Aoag, the albino growled, feeling the vibration of the sword and then being sent flying by a kick to the face. So it won't be so easy to beat you, Nero said as he stood up. Without hesitation he ran towards Blaziken and then made cuts to Blaziken, which he blocked and dodged without any problem, with his hands and feet. You can't defeat me, said Blaziken to do a somersault and kick Nero, who received. But, bang! He was shot in the leg, causing him to fall. Agag, damn it! I screamed to kick. But Nero blocked it, and then cut his leg and punched him in the abdomen. Be more careful, said Nero to shoot at Blaziken, who narrowly dodged the bullets. You won't beat me, he said before launching a barrage of fire-covered punches that Nero blocked in an instant. I think the same, said Nero, giving a big upward slash to Blaziken, who dodged and then spit fire. Nero repelled the fireballs with his sword without any problem, and then a flame surrounded him. Tisk, Red Queen dispelled the fire only to see Blaziken approaching to give him a fire punch in his face. The attack was so strong that it made him spit up a little blood. Now fire kick, he said to use his wife's technique and kick him in the abdomen. The kick was so strong that it made Nero spit blood and he was sent flying into some rubble. Nero had a large wound in his abdomen, his clothes were burned and blood was coming out. That was a good hit, Nero said, coughing blood and getting up with difficulty. What the hell, we knew that attack was going to kill you instantly, Blaziken said seriously. I'm sorry, but I'm an Issei, someone who has gained a lot of power in his world, Nero said seriously, getting up and being on guard. GGGHH, damn it! Blaziken shouted, jumping high and doing a flying kick that Nero blocked without any problem. Blaziken hit Nero and he blocked them with some difficulty due to his wound, but he still didn't give up. Why don't you understand? I want to get revenge on those wretches who betrayed me. I couldn't protect my family from that wretch. Why do you insist? Why? Blaziken shouted, kicking fire that Nero blocked with some difficulty. I do it because, he said to repel a kick. Now Nero had his sword up in preparation for an upward slash and Blaziken was preparing a fire-drenched fist. Everything was happening in slow motion. Blaziken was preparing his attack but Nero dodged it, but a small burning sensation passed across his cheek before he made the upward cut. You're just like me, said Nero, putting on a small smile. We lost our loved ones to someone, we were betrayed by the people we trusted the most. Our souls screamed for us to kill the bastard who ruined our lives, Nero said calmly, and Blaziken just got on his knees and blood gushed over his shoulder. When I defeated that wretch, my soul screamed to kill him, but I realized something. It's not worth staining my hands with someone like him. That's how it was. The traitor was locked in Tartarus while I enjoyed my new life. I don't know what happened to you in your world, but you suffered too much. So please surrender, Nero said seriously, and Blaziken remained silent. Memories ran through his head of how he was betrayed, found in the village, how he met and formed a family with his beloved, the reunion and everything, until the arrival of the Dark Order, and a pillar of flame erupted from Blaziken and GGGHH, he screamed in pain as he was surrounded by flames. The fire dissipated and Blaziken was no longer there. In his place was a giant dragon. RAHGGGHH, the dragon roared at Nero. So you're going to give up, then you leave me no choice, he said, to be surrounded by a blue aura. Blue rays surrounded Nero, and in his place was a humanoid being with blue wings, light blue hair and horns. I gave you the chance to surrender, but it seems you don't want to. I have no choice but to kill you, said Nero with his devil trigger. The dragon roared loudly and then spit fire, which Nero dodged without any problem and then hit him in the jaw. Nero would give him another blow to his face to crash him to the floor. RAAGGGHHH, the dragon roared loudly and then a pillar of fire covered him. Nero dissipated the pillar to give him big, fast cuts with Red Queen. AHHHAA, Nero shouted with all his might, cutting the dragon and using his claws to then ram it. Now take this, he said to charge Blue Rose with demonic energy. Blue Bullet Angel! I shout to fire a blast of blue demonic energy at the dragon and upon contact. RRAHHHAA, the dragon roared loudly, causing a huge explosion. The dragon fell to the ground, disappearing and revealing a wounded Blaziken. You put up a good fight, but I don't have to take you to Grigory. I don't want Issei in this world to have problems, said Nero, carrying Blaziken. Chapter 9, Urizen vs. Issei of Wrath. The other place. Late at night in an apartment building with the light on, inside the room you could see a black-haired boy with orange eyes. He was wearing a black kimono with an orange scarf. He was eating ramen. Delicious, said the boy as he placed the plate on the small table. You really love ramen that much, said a female voice. Next to the boy was a girl wearing a Qua Academy uniform. What did you expect, another me? It's my source of energy, and the only thing I've eaten in 12 years, said the boy, smiling, and then leaned back on the couch. Take off your shoes before you lie down on the couch, said the girl, a little annoyed by the boy's action. Issei Izari, called a boy with brown hair and honey-colored eyes. He was wearing a black military uniform. On his right hand there was a red mark. Hello Issei, or rather Gudao, Izari said to the black-uniformed Issei. Likewise Izari and Okada Aizu, Gudao said the name of both Isseis. Thank you for saying my name instead of your old one, said Okada Aizu, standing up from the sofa. Well, back to what I was saying. Tell me, did you make sure no one from the faction saw you? Gudao said seriously. Not at all, Besides, my appearance is not the same as the Issei of this world and I control my aura better, said Iseei. My appearance is different from the Issei of this world, no one can recognize me, and my aura is not that of a dragon, said Okada. And you? Iseei said. Well, I had to use one of my cards to let no one see me, said Gyudao, showing a bronze-colored card with the image of an Archie. Okay, I think no one saw you, said Okada, smiling. If you really saw it, I wouldn't hesitate to use this card, he said, showing a golden card with the image of a knight. How direct, Iseei said to Gyudao. Now we just have to wait for the other Issei, said Okada. By the way, where is it? Gyudao said. She said she was going to get a magazine 20 minutes ago, Iseei said, looking at her watch. Do you think it won't cause any trouble? Gyudao said worriedly. As long as he doesn't meet a non-virgin woman, he'll be fine, Iseei said calmly, not knowing what the other Issei was doing. Don't let your guard down, sang a brunette girl with pigtails. She walked while singing. Oh, young man, said a woman. Next door was a magazine store. You didn't hear what I said, said a familiar voice to the girl with pigtails, and she looked secretly. I already told you, I can't buy a magazine received from a non-virgin woman, said an Issei who had casual tops, a horn on his right side and crystalline eyes. So listen, bring a virgin woman, damn survivor of the Satsumata domain, Issei said to the woman who was scared. At that moment the manager arrived, defending the woman. Young man, I can't deny that she's not a virgin, but I'm not going to stand idly by and try to scare her, said the manager seriously. You leave me no choice, said Issei to raise his hand in front of the manager, and out of nowhere he disappeared. Ah, manager, the frightened woman cried. I sent him inside a dolphin in the middle of a show. When he comes out he'll go crazy for virgins, said Issei seriously and coldly. Manager, the woman shouted as she watched Issei retreat. What just happened? Aika said, surprised by what she just saw. End quip plot. Urizen gave a sigh of irritation. Urizen, it's a joke. I didn't try to make trouble. That idiot summoned me with that strange device and tried to control me, so I just destroyed it. Besides, why are you trying to stop me? Urizen growls. Issei of anger. Because we do not have a reason to be in this world. We cannot interfere in this world. You did well to kill him. Now surely you will go for the factions, right? Issei of anger said seriously. Urizen, I already destroyed the factions in my world. I just want to rest. Also, if someone attacks, I defend myself, so move aside or I will kill you. Urizen growls. Issei of wrath, then, come to Grigory with me, Issei of wrath said seriously to Urizen. Well, said Urizen, wanting to go, but in a blink, many magical attacks enveloped Urizen. The responsible were the demons of the factions who believed they were survivors of the Cow's Brigade. Issei of wrath and Urizen, damn it! Both Issei said to dodge the attacks. What they didn't realize was that someone was hiding in the shadows. The stranger laughed sadistically and prepared a magical attack in the direction of Urizen. Urizen, damn demons! Roared wounded Urizen, exploding in red rays that enveloped his body. Urizen of the top 10, 6th place of the top 10. Take this! The stranger shouted, then a magic circle appeared under Urizen's feet. Urizen, what is this? Urizen shouted to feel his head spin and his vision blur. Now Urizen was standing and his eyes were lifeless. Issei with anger. Hey, are you okay? He said, approaching Urizen. In a blink of an eye, Ira kicked Issei out of anger with a kick wrapped in lightning. Slowly his body surged with red lightning. Urizen, rah ha ha. Urizen roared to launch himself against the demons of the factions. Wrapping his hands in claws made of lightning, he cut the demons into pieces in a brutal manner. Issei of anger, what the hell is wrong with you? He screamed, seeing that he was attacking the demons like crazy. Fufu, my plan is going perfectly, said the being to withdraw from the place in a magic circle. With Issei of anger. He was trying to stop Urizen, but he kicked or hit him. Rar har, he roared like a furious animal, until he grabbed his head in pain. Issei saw that he was controlled by anger since his forehead had a magic circle. Issei of wrath, tisk, he's being controlled. Who controlled him? Issei of Wrath said seriously before blocking a blow from Urizen. Issei of Wrath, it seems I have no other choice. He said to activate his demonic mark and Lostbane and Ascalon together. Issei of Anger, I will have to fight you, he said seriously looking at Urizen. Rar har. Urizen roared, wrapping his arms and legs in lightning, creating crimson energy claws. Soon he launched himself at Issei in anger, unleashing a rainy flurry of swipes and kicks. The chestnut deflected each of Urizen's attacks without any problem. He had wounds on his hands, but that didn't stop him. Issei of Rage, full counter. Shout to return the attack at double power. Urizen took the full brunt of Issei's attack in anger. But that didn't stop him because the more damage he took, the stronger he became. With the factions, all the leaders and Issei and the others arrived at the ruins of the Cow Brigade. Searches, but what happened here? He said, surprised to see everything in ruins. Godslayer, it seems we are late, said the albino seriously. Suddenly they heard the sound of something breaking. They saw Urizen dodging every slash from Issei's anger while his feet were covered in purple fire. Gladius, ha 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 ha, Urizen the king of monsters, is in 6th place in the top 10 and Issei of Anger is in 8th place in the top 10, Gladius exclaimed excitedly. Everyone except Godslayer, what? Issei, the good thing is that they don't notice us. In the fight. Urizen, raggggh. He roared to launch red rays at Issei of Wrath, who barely blocked but retreated. Godslayer, shit, I didn't think Urizen would end up here. That guy is the most troublesome of the 10, Godslayer growls, attracting everyone's attention. Issei, first Gladius, now that Urizen, who else should we face from the top 10? Issei said tensely. Rar ha die. Plus roared Urizen, throwing his fist wrapped in lightning at Issei with anger. How elusive. The fist, upon impacting against the ground, explodes in a powder explosion. Issei, in anger, had no choice. He had to leave him so badly injured that he couldn't get up. Luckily, by letting his anger get the better of him, he was more likely to launch attacks that were very easy to predict. Issei's anger began to connect a blow full of purple flames to Urizen, who retreated. Stop later. 2,000 divine slashes from the dragon god. Shout to slash Urizen with Ascalon and Lostbane. Soon Urizen's body was filled with cuts, causing multiple geysers of blood to come out. Issei, in anger, seeing him fall, charges the power of darkness and purple fire and points at Urizen. He thought he could finish it right now, and he did, but was interrupted by Godslayer. Godslayer, wait! Godslayer shouts to Issei of Wrath. Godslayer, they are already injured. They can no longer continue fighting, said Godslayer, who was accompanied by Gladius. Issei of Anger, you're right. After all, I was trying to knock him out. Issei of Anger said seriously, looking at Urizen. Nero, hey! Nero shouted, getting the Issei's attention. He walked while carrying Blaziken. Godslayer, Blaziken, exclaimed Godslayer upon seeing his friend and companion. Suddenly a gap opened. Hey Godslayer, I'm here, came a jet-black Issei with black eyes with red pupils. In his hand he had an end-sword sword. Gladius, genocidal avenger, the son of the Dark Celestial and the one who occupies the first place in the top 10, the most powerful Issei in the multiverse, exclaimed Gladius, who attracted everyone's attention. Everyone, what did you say? They all said, surprised to see the strongest in the multiverse. Issei, he's the strongest in the multiverse? It's great that he'll help us, Issei said, relieved and nervous at the same time. Soon the Issei saw how Urizen woke up from the blow, looking at VG. Seeing him, their rays increased with awe. Godbreaker, Diamond Breaker! Roared Urizen, who exploded in a pillar of lightning. When the pillar dissipated, Urizen was revolted, but extremely muscular, his arms covered with gauntlets of an unknown alloy. His back was filled with tubes, his head had a helmet that covered his face, revealing his short white hair. His power increased every second that passed, and that was surprising since he was stronger than Great Red and Trihexa. This can't get any worse, said Issei, scared to see Urizen's new form. Elsewhere. In a white apartment with a view, you could see a person sitting looking at the moon as if he was reflecting on life. Suddenly a being with a white mask and a smile, a red suit with a large hat came out of the shadows. "What do you want?" said the stranger, noticing the presence of the newcomer. "Oh, how direct! I just came to give you a little message from my master," said the stranger. "I told you again and I'll say it again, I don't want to join in your absurd plan," said the serious stranger. "Then I have no—" He couldn't finish because a shot was received near him. "I don't know why you want to conquer this world if you have conquered your world," said the boy, getting up, showing an Issei in a black suit and magenta shirt. On his neck he had a magenta camera. "Why don't you want to join? The master can get you anything you want, power, women, an important position, anything, and it will be yours," said the masked man, trying to convince Issei. "Heh, what words for an Issei who conquered the factions. Now go and tell your master that I reject his proposal," said Issei, looking at his other self. "Tell me why you don't want to join. Because you're on the side of the factions or because you want to destroy my master alone?" said the masked man, looking at Issei. "I don't give a damn what happens to the factions, you and he can do whatever you want, but if things get ugly you'll have no choice but to go after you," he said, showing a magenta belt with strange symbols. "Well, I want to see that decade," said the masked man as he went into the shadows and disappeared. "I already told you, I am Decade, the destroyer of worlds," said Issei, raising his driver. Chapter 10 VG vs Urizen. The factions were open-mouthed at seeing Urizen's form. They never thought they would see an Issei in such a strange state. "Searches, what power! He can overcome Triaxa and the Big Red like nothing," he said in surprise. "Azazel, how much power has that Issei achieved?" Azazel said seriously. "Michael, how much did he have to endure to obtain that power?" Michael said seriously. The others were on their knees and trembling. "Issei, what the hell is that?" Issei said in shock, seeing his other version in that state. God Slayer took out his Donner while Gladius summoned his weapons, but... "VG, wait, leave it to me, take the others away, he intends to destroy everyone in his path," VG whispers calmly, walking towards Urizen. Meanwhile, in a bar late at night. In one of the bar's dressing rooms, a brunette could be seen getting ready. Next to him were three masked men. "It's your turn, Dragon Force," said a man, saying the name of the group's band. "That's our band name," said Issei, taking a guitar, and the others went with him. The group went to a stage. There were people drinking alcohol, eating junk food, and talking. "Attention, ladies and gentlemen, today we bring a new rock band to this bar. They call themselves Dragon Force," said the commentator, and Issei came out of the blinds. "Well, this is a little," said Issei nervously, and everyone looked at him strangely. "Okay, enough talking, and let's start singing," said Issei, and the guitarist just played. "Put her in the fight." "In." "Gee, how long, Urizen?" VG said calmly, seeing Urizen in that form. In response, he received a blow to the face that sent him flying. Urizen, "Raggggg," roared and then went for VG. Grabbing VG by the face, he slammed him to the ground and continued on his way until he slammed him against a destroyed castle, causing so much destruction. At that moment, Urizen fell among the smoke, all battered. Since VG emerged unharmed from the smoke, but surrounded by a large, giant skeleton with 6 arms, made of the power of destruction. Something that greatly surprised Rias and Serzex. "Rias, Oni-sama, that power is," she said, surprised to see the giant skeleton. "Searches, yes, it is the power of destruction," he said seriously when he saw it. "God Slayer, don't be confused, he has an ability that allows him to steal the power of others and make them his own. VG stole the power of destruction from Rias and Searches of their world," said the serious albino, surprising the Gremorys. In the fight, VG moved the giant skeleton and then hit Urizen, who received it completely, sending more and more blows until Urizen, already tired, with a punch broke the skeletal arm of the power of destruction. VG, seeing it, steps back while deactivating the power of destruction before Urizen could attack. He is strongly chained by magic chains. "Holy rays," said VG, pointing his hand to the sky that clouded. magic power increase x5000, exclaimed VG, creating from the sky a gigantic dragon made of holy rays that surprised Akeno a lot when she saw her father's power. Akeno, that's my technique! Akeno shouted in surprise at seeing her technique used. Betrayal, he can also use lightning and sacred magic, and they are stronger than mine, Betrayal said seriously. Godslayer, and that's not all his power, Godslayer said as if nothing had happened, surprising everyone. The sacred lightning dragon flew towards Urizen, who received it completely. Urizen, RAAGGGHH. The attack was so strong that it created a huge explosion that eventually revealed Urizen on the verge of death. Returning to normal, he fell unconscious to the ground. With a sigh, VG used Asia's sacred gear to heal himself enough. That's it, you can chain it, said VG. Godslayer, okay. I shout to use the power of the necklace that Fomire gave me and chain Urizen completely. End of the song. At the bar. When the song ended, the people applauded loudly. Thank you very much, dear audience, said Issei, thanking everyone. Return. Issei, ugh, how intense, said the brown-haired boy nervously. Issei the King Fomire, well, one less, now the 5 strongest are gathered, said King Fomire, seeing VG, Godslayer, Issei of Anger, Urizen and Gladius. Someone was controlling Urizen, I know who it is, it's very dangerous, said VG. Issei, how was he being controlled? Issei said, surprised. I think I know who it is, said an unknown voice. Everyone saw an Issei with glasses and a black suit. He was accompanied by Cupid and Tanho. Who are you? Said VG seriously. My name is Issei Hayato, but you can call me Lord Elmelion too. On my left you can call him Cupid and the other on my right is called Issei Tano, said the Issei called Lord Elmelion too and introduced to his companions. I am VG, son of the Dark Celestial, who is the one controlling Urizen, said VG seriously. Melion too took a cigar out of his pocket, lit it, and then smoked it. I don't know, but I think he's being controlled by an Issei Lucifer, Melion said seriously. VG, an Issei Lucifer? He said confused. Melion, in other realities there is an Issei Gremory like the one with you. Not only is there a Gremory, there is also an Issei Citri Baal, Phoenix and Agars, or from an unknown or extinct clan, as well as from the Church and the Grigory. But there is also an Issei of which there are few that exist, those are the Issei Lucifer. Some of those Isseis have the mentality of Vala or that of Rizavim. I think we are facing an Issei Rizavim, said Melion seriously. Godslayer, shit, an Issei with Rizavim's thoughts. That can't be worse, Godslayer growls. Unknown location. In a dark and lonely place, black dragons surrounded the entire area. In a deep curve was an Issei with white hair, black eyes with red pupils, a black cap along with a black suit and black shoes. My lord is back, said the masked man. I see you came back empty-handed, Issei said in an intimidating tone. But the masked man showed no signs of fear. Yes, this decade didn't accept your deal. He told me that if things get ugly he'll come for us. What do you want us to do, sir? Said the masked man. Leave it for now, said Issei seriously. Understood, my lord, said the masked man bowing. By the way, have you already taken care of the other Isseis? Said Issei seriously. Yes, I have already captured 32 Isseis. Some joined and some resisted but were controlled thanks to my hypnosis magic, said the masked man. I see you're finally useful, Issei said, smiling. Suddenly a black and purple armor that had a great resemblance to Dryeg's armor appeared. He was carrying 2 female Isseis. I see you finally arrived, Darks, said Issei looking at him with a smile. Yes, master, I brought the 2 Isseis as you asked me, said Darks, releasing the Isseis who were unconscious. Master, I have a question, said the masked man. Why are you looking for the Izaris? I've heard that 90% of them are weak and useless for fighting, and 10% are strong, the masked man said. Very easy. When my plan to conquer this world is over, they will be my actual slaves. They will be in charge of carrying my offspring, also yours, said Issei, smiling sadistically, but his smile would be erased. Is something wrong? Said the masked man. Yes, someone broke the spell I put on Urizen, he said to activate a magic circle and see the protagonists. Oh, so VG was the one who defeated Urizen and Godslayer sealed Urizen with the power of that amulet. Not only is he, there are also two grand Isseis, powerful Isseis and the factions, said Issei looking at the group. What can we do, sir? If they're there, our plans will be ruined, said the masked man. Don't worry, I'll send someone to take care of the job, he said, then snapped his fingers. From the shadows emerged a black humanoid with a red spiral on its face and a spider symbol on its chest. Oh, so you're going to send him, said the masked man. That's right, take care of them, Null, said Issei with a big smile. Yes, master, Null said in a grave tone. Chapter 11. In one of Qua's buildings you could see a small figure. If you looked closely it looked like a girl with brown hair, dark green eyes. She was wearing a pink and white dress with decorative wings and a cane in her hands. Ah, it seems there is danger, said a girl's female voice and then jumped off the building. Her staff then sprouted wings and she began to ride with the staff and then showed a golden card. Elsewhere. Great, an Issei with a rise of him mentality. This couldn't get any worse? Godslayer said seriously. Please don't say that or something terrible will happen, VG said to Godslayer. That only happens in fiction, but it doesn't matter, we need to do something before Issei Rise of him makes his next move, said Lord Melee seriously. You're right, but what will we do first? We don't know where that Issei is or what his next move will be, Issei said to his versions. Yes, but first we must know what that Issei is looking for first, maybe something or someone, said Azazel seriously. Azazel is right, we have to know what that Issei is looking for, said Godslayer seriously. The Ace of Gods approached Urizen, who was chained. Tell me, do you know an Issei with a rise of him mentality? Godslayer said seriously. No, I don't know who you're talking about. The only thing I know is that I was transported to this world along with that weird masked Iseei because of that old lesbian and I killed him right away, but someone cast a mind control spell on me and I started attacking whatever crossed my path, Urizen explained to Godslayer. Well, that explains why you're here, Godslayer said to Urizen and seeing the unconscious Blaziken. By the way, why is Blaziken so unconscious? Godslayer said to Nero. He was killing every Chaos Brigade guard, but I intervened and he told me that he would take revenge on the factions later. I tried to reason with him, but he decided to fight me. I defeated him thanks to my devil trigger, Nero told Godslayer. Suddenly Blaziken wakes up and then sees everyone. He's awake! Rias shouted in alarm. Everyone was on guard. Where am I? What are you doing here, Godslayer and VG? Wait, because some of you look like me, and what are the factions doing here? Blaziken said seriously, looking at everyone. Don't worry, no one will hurt you. We just want to know why you want revenge on the factions, Godslayer said seriously. What are you talking about if I no longer have anything to do with them? Blaziken said as if nothing had happened, surprising everyone. Hey, but didn't you say you were going to get revenge on everyone when we fought? Nero said, surprised. Who are you? And since when do we fight? Blaziken said, shocking Nero. Tell us, what is the last thing you remember? Lord Melee said to Blaziken. The only thing I remember was that I was at the base of the Chaos Brigade, but suddenly a magic circle was under me and from there I don't remember anything, said Blaziken, surprising everyone. Wait, the same thing happened to him as Urizen, Issei said, angry, serious and remembering Urizen. I think I should investigate that mind control spell further, said Lord Melee seriously, putting down his cigar. For now we must do something, said Godslayer seriously. I knew you would say that since I've been devising a plan, Lord Melee said to Godslayer. And what's your plan? VG said seriously. If that Issei is gathering other Isseis, why aren't we? Lord Melee said to everyone. Are you saying we should gather other Isseis? Said Nero. That's right, said Melio. And why would we do that? Said Godslayer. Because in this world there are many Isseis roaming almost everywhere. There are Isseis with different abilities, but there are also some with different personalities. I'm sure some joined Issei's Rise of him. The best thing will be to find the other Iseis and convince them to join us as more as possible. Lord Mello said, and everyone thought for a moment. It seems we have no other choice. After all, we have no other plan in mind, said Godslayer. You're right, there will surely be Iseis who will join that Issei, said Azazel seriously. Azazel-san, tell us how many Iseis there are in the Grigory, said Lord Mello. Counting the 6 Iseis who are helping me repair the machine plus the 19 we captured, that's a total of 25 Iseis, Azazel said seriously. Well, I know I have no right to give orders, but leaders and Iseis, we have to look for the other Iseis, and I discovered what that Issei is planning, said Lord Mello seriously to everyone present. Understood, they said without hesitation. Very well, we will team up. Tano, Cupid and Nero will accompany me. Blaziken, Urizen, Gladius and Godslayer will team up, since Godslayer has the power to seal the power of others thanks to that amulet. The classic Issei, the Gremory clan, King Fangire and Viji will team up. They will need someone strong to face a grand Issei. The leaders can do whatever they want. Lord Mello ordered everyone present. Understood, they all said. I'll leave. I'll let you know if there's an Issei anywhere. Searches said to leave. Me too. I need to go to heaven to see if there is any news, said Michael as he left. I'm also leaving. After all, I need to help the other Isseis, said Azazel as he left the place. Well, I think it's time for us to go. Call me if you found an Issei, said Lord Mello to leave with his companions. Well, it's time to go. See you later, VG, said Godslayer to leave the place. And what will we do now? Said Issei. For now, it's best to rest, said VG. Exactly, but where? Rias said. The pervert knows it very easily, said VG referring to Issei. Seriously, why do the other Isseis only insult me? Issei said, a little annoyed. Maybe it's because of your perverted attitude, Drake said to Issei. You're no help, said Issei. I think the same, said Kaneko with her typical expression. Let's just go home, Issei said, annoyed. Rias just used a magic circle to teleport everyone away. At Issei's house, the whole group could be seen relaxing on the living room sofa. This day has been a great surprise, said Issei, resting. It was amazing to see so many Isseis. We saw the most powerful Isseis fight, and we discovered something really surprising, said VG. You're right, Issei said, and then looked at VG. By the way, VG, Issei said, drawing the attention of the genocidal. Can I hear you? Said VG. Why are your eyes red and your hair black? Issei said curiously, seeing VG's appearance. And why are you so perverted? VG said mockingly. Hey, said Issei, annoyed. After that they both started arguing. Buck your stupid hitch, you son of a hitch, you don't know what you and that idiot Azazel did just so that later many versions of you appear and cause I don't know what kind of mess in this shitty world. Now I have to solve your bucking problem. You're a bucking degenerate piece of shit. How the hell was I supposed to know this was going to happen? Ask my stupid teacher who had the brilliant idea to do it. You're lucky he didn't kill everyone. They both started arguing and throwing insults at each other. They are like twin brothers, said Akeno, watching the scene. Yes, one is a demon and the other is an angel, said Kiba, watching the discussion. If you refer to Issei-san as an angel, he would be more of a fallen angel, said Kaneko, looking at the scene with amusement. Now what are you going to do now, you damn good-for-nothing pervert? VG shouted at the top of his lungs. Issei just stayed silent because of that. You don't know what to do, right? VG said to Issei. You don't know what to do, right? Issei mimicked VG. Suddenly a magic circle appeared in Issei's ear. Yes? Said Issei, answering the call. Help, they're finishing us off. White hair mark on his forehead. Seiki Ryuti, please save. Suddenly the call stopped ringing. Oh, it can't be, Issei said worriedly, getting everyone's attention. Did something happen? VG said seriously. Yes, I received a call from the Angel faction, Issei said seriously. Wait, from the Angel faction? Rias said in surprise. Yes, they said they were being attacked, Issei said seriously. And who could that be? Rias said, knowing who the attacker was. Oh no, an Issei must be attacking the sky! Issei shouted seriously, putting everyone on alert. Heaven faction. Everywhere thousands of angel corpses were scattered across the sky. The floors and clouds had blood everywhere. In the center of the corpses was a man with long white hair. He was wearing a black trench coat with metal protectors on his arms up to his shoulders and black boots. He was choking Michael and Gabriel at the same time. Please leave my sister alone, Michael said, all hurt and with difficulty breathing. Oni-sama, said Gabriel, equally hurt. Hee. Leave my sister, kill me, said Michael, wounded. I'll do better, I'll kill you both, he shouted to strangle the archangels. Both archangels shouted. Goodbye, stupid angels, he said to kill the two archangels. But when he was about to break their necks, a fireball hit him in the back. Who was the idiot who hit me in the back? He said to release both angels. Are you okay, sister? Michael said, worried. Yes, said Gabriel, breathing. Come on, show yourself if you're such a man, said the man. Somewhere Lord Meloy, Issei Tano, and Cupid came out. It was me. Any problem? Said Lord Meloy with a large red cloak. So you're the wretch who attacked me, aren't you afraid of death? Said the man, looking at Lord Meloy. I'm always prepared for that, so let's say more or less, Lord Meloy said seriously. So you're ready to fight me? Said the man, smiling as he approached Lord Meloy. I'm not coming alone, they're accompanying me, he said, referring to Issei Tano, who was equipped with his knife, and Cupid with his bow and arrow. Let's see if they can beat me, I shouted as I charged at full speed towards the group. Ahhhha, Lord Meloy shouted to create several columns of fire that the man easily dodged. That's all? She said, hitting him hard in the face and sending him to the ground. Lord Meloy! Screamed Issei Tano, and Cupid, worried. Damn! The brunette shouted, taking off his glasses and revealing blue eyes with purple pupils with black and strong red around the edges. Issei Tano tried to cut him on the neck, but the man dodged them easily, and at the same time dodged Cupid's arrows. How annoying, he said, hitting him in the face. But a whirlwind of wind combined with fire would surround him. The two Isseis looked at Lord Meloy and saw that he was responsible. Don't worry about me, try to kill this bastard, Lord Meloy ordered his versions. The column of fire disappeared, revealing the mysterious man without a scratch. Is that all? The man said mockingly. Tano would be in front of him. The man was about to prepare a blow to Tano, but out of nowhere disappeared. What? Said the man, surprised. Tano would be at his side and then cut him with his knife. 0:00 a.m. 0:05. Tano gave the man a big cut that he received completely. Damn it! The man shouted angrily to hit him in the face. Tano used the same technique and then gave a cut, and multiple cuts appeared out of nowhere. How can you be so fast? The man said angrily before throwing a punch, but what he didn't realize was that an arrow was coming for him. Take my most powerful arrow! Cupid shouted, launching his arrow at the man. The arrow hit the man full on, sticking into his neck. Ahak, what the hell is? He couldn't finish because he stopped moving. Tano got up and then helped Lord Meloy and went to where Cupid was. What was that? Tano said, watching the man not move. I used one of my most powerful arrows. It is capable of controlling the minds of humans and supernatural beings, said Cupid seriously. Wow, I didn't expect that, Tano said, surprised. Well, now that he is under your power, tell him why he attacked the Heaven faction, said Lord Meloy seriously, and Cupid nodded. He approached the man without any fear. Tell me why. He couldn't finish because he received a blow to the face that sent him flying. Cupid! Both Iseis shouted upon seeing their unconscious partner. I have to say that his attack was somewhat effective, but not enough, said the man, removing the arrow from his neck. Damn, Tano said to cut the man off. But suddenly he disappeared from Tanho's sight and hit him in the abdomen, and then hit him in the face, leaving him unconscious. It can't be, said Lord Mello, surprised. When he was about to say something, a blow to his abdomen appeared, leaving him half unconscious. Did you really think you could beat me? What idiots for me, said the man, seeing Lord Mello on his knees and spitting blood. Now I will kill the angels and nothing will remain of heaven, said the man, approaching Michael and Gabriel, who were scared. Plague, don't do it. If you do, you could cause a great catastrophe in the churches and in this world, said Lord Mello, trying to get up. And that's all I care about. The only thing that matters to me is killing the wretches who ruined my life, said the man, pointing to the angels. Lord Mello tried to use his magic, but it was useless. He was about to witness the death of great religious figures at the hands of his other self. Or so I thought, because a ray of light passed over it. Let's see who the idiot is who interrupted me again, the man shouted. It was me, idiot, said the voice of a certain brown-haired man. In front of the man appeared an Issei with brown hair and honey-colored eyes. He was wearing an open black suit inside which he felt a great magical power. Next to him was an Iseei wearing a white kimono, and next to her was a boy with long red hair slicked back with a small crown, wearing purple armor with yellow details. So it was you guys, do you want to end up like them? Said the man, looking at the newcomers. Believe me, we are different from the ones you faced before, said Issei seriously. Let's do it, Issei said to Iseei. Yes, ready, Zenki? He said, showing a golden amulet with a red gem. Always ready, said Zenki. A fog appeared and then vanished, revealing a man who had the same appearance as the child, only he was more mature. Zenki, the guardian warrior, said Zenki. Then, said Issei, releasing a golden aura. Issei Haidu, the son of the sun and the universe, better known as Solarverse, said Issei, introducing himself as Solarverse. I am Estarossa, the Nephilim, he said to increase his aura. Chapter 12, Solarverse vs. Estarossa, Sparta. Destruction of Grigory, Part 1. In another part of the world. In a half-destroyed forest that was the result of a fierce battle between two powerful opponents. But if you looked closely, the forest was slowly recovering. In one of the craters there was a pink-haired Issei and a blue-haired girl with minor and some serious injuries due to the intense battle they had with it. Above the sky was the butterfly-winged Issei with some scratches. Issei, Fairy King, give up at once, there is no reason to fight anymore, said Issei, a little tired of the great fight he had with the girl. Shio, never, I won't let you do anything to Tu-chan, she said. She was about to use her power, but some branches stopped her instantly. Issei, Fairy King, you won't do it seriously, we're just going to Grigory. We don't want to cause any problems for the Issei of this dimension. The Issei was heading to where they were, but suddenly a sphere of energy that the Issei blocked immediately. I'm sorry, but he won't do it, because I'm going to take them, said the masked man next to Yandere and Shio. Fairy King Issei, who are you? He said seriously when he saw him. Let's say I'm my lord's right-hand man, he said, and then disappeared with the two. Fairy King Issei, he was confused about what just happened, but who was that guy? Seriously, and he flew away very far. I'll have to go with Azazel to see if he ended up in invention. He disappeared at an incredible speed in the direction of Grigory. Elsewhere, another battle between three Isseis was about to begin. The Issei called Solarverse along with an Iseei were about to fight the Nephilim Sparta, who was about to kill the last angels of heaven. But the two mentioned stopped him just in time. Solarverse, comma? Estarossa, do you think you can beat me? He said, smiling. Suddenly Estarossa gave Issei Solarverse a strong punch that left him surprised, and then he was sent flying and hit again, sending him down, and finally kicked him, that sent him flying. From a magic circle came out Classic Issei, the Gremory clan and the other Isseis. Classic Issei, what happened here? Seeing the destroyed sky. Irina, it can't be the sky, she said, surprised and on her knees. God Slayer, hey, look! He shouted, pointing at the fight between the two Issei. Wait, that Issei is VG, that's right, it's Estarossa, a serious Nephilim Issei looking at Issei. When he was about to hit him, he saw that behind Solarverse there was a big sun that left him surprised, but he was careless, and was hit, sending him flying away. Estarossa, He resisted the blow and got up. He good try when he said that he suddenly got on his knees because of the pain. Multiverse, that's what you get for underestimating me, Issei said seriously, seeing him on his knees. Everyone was impressed by the fight and the great strength of Multiverse. God Slayer, incredible, he knocked Estarossa to his knees in one fell swoop. VG, what kind of strength does this Issei have? He said, surprised to see the great power. Estarossa, ha ha ha, it seems you're right, he said, standing up, and from a magic circle he took out a sword that emitted sacred power. Irina, wait a minute, I know that sword, she said, surprised to see the sword. Estarossa, I won't make it easy for you this time. Multiverse, how reckless, he said, creating a network of sacred power, and in a quick movement he cut it. But suddenly blood came out of his right arm, leaving him surprised. Estarossa, I'm surprised, this is my full counter technique. I can reflect any physical power, returning it to double. Multiverse, I see, so that will be a big problem, seriously, and threw the spear that Estarossa blocked with his sword. Estarossa, ha 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 ha, you better give up, you can't even beat me with strength, he said, laughing at Multiverse. Multiverse, now you'll see why they call me Multiverse, seriously, and a small sun appeared from his hand. Suddenly the place was enveloped by a huge heat wave that made many sweat. Issei, it's so hot, said Issei, sweating a lot. Rias, maybe it's because of that Issei's sun that is emitting great heat and magical power, said Rias, pointing at the great sun. Multiverse, Iseei, please take Michael and Gabriel to a safe place and protect the newcomers, said Multiverse seriously. Iseei, I'll do that, Zenki, go ahead. I shouted, and the two charged the remaining archangels, but you better throw or else we'll be fried. Multiverse, okay, said Multiverse seriously, and threw the sun. When Estarossa saw the sun, he couldn't move because of the shock. When he was hit, he flew away, sending him quite far away from the place. He opened his eyes only to receive another, even bigger sun that burned him completely. Issei, incredible, I never imagined he had such great power. God Slayer, wait a minute, this power, no, it's very similar, but it's not. VG, but it is similar, since that large sphere had the energy of the sun, seriously, watching the fight and observing what happened. The brown-haired man went to where Estarossa was and saw that he had large burns and a dark aura surrounded him. Estarossa, you need more than that to defeat me. Multiverse, and that's what I'll do. He summoned another sun from his hand. Estarossa, damn you! I screamed, being swallowed by the great sun that exploded immediately. Multiverse, wow, what a tough opponent. Everyone was impressed to see how he finished off Estarossa with a single blow. VG, that was a death attack. God Slayer, any demon would be burned to death upon contact with that sphere. Issei, are my versions that powerful? Issei thought, seeing such power. At that, Multiverse sees the newly arrived group with a serious face. Multiverse, you guys must know what's going on, right? Seriously. God Slayer, I think so, he said to talk to the Issei who defeated Estarossa. Suddenly a communication magic circle appeared in Rias's ear, something that made her serious. Rias, did something happen? Seriously, and attentively listened to what they were going to say. Sona, yes, Rias, let me tell you that I found another Issei, said Sona, and Rias is surprised. Rias, really? Tell me, is he an ally or an enemy? She said, in a state of alert, and worried that something would happen to her friend and rival. Sona, calm down, he's an ally, she said calmly, and relieving Rias for you. Rias, what do you mean? Confused. Sona, let's say that she was interrupted by Issei. Elsewhere. Issei, oh come on Sotan, are you going to give your little brother a hug? Said Issei, in a suit and wearing glasses. She hugged Sona affectionately. Sona, hey, let me go, I'm going, I'm your sister. She said, trying to get away from Issei, but it was useless. Issei, oh come on, stop being so cold, he said in a cheerful tone. Sona, this Issei, he acts like my Wani-sama, Sona thought, seeing Issei, and at the same time she saw Sarah fall, replacing Issei. Saji, wow, I never expected that Issei would become so attached to the president. Tsubaki, the most surprising thing is that he called her Sotan, the same surname that Leviathan-sama uses. Tsubasa. And the most surprising thing is that she acts as if she were his sister, seeing how Issei moved from one side to the other of an angry Sona. Momo, well, look on the bright side, he's not an evil Issei, she said, trying to liven up the atmosphere. Saji, if you're right, I think it's time to talk to Issei, he said, approaching. Hey Issei, leave the president alone. Issei, I don't want to, he said simply. Sona, Issei, Sona said angrily. Issei, okay, I'll leave you, sister, smiling and walking away from her. The Citri began to calm down and look seriously at Issei. Sona, well, you're lucky we found you before that Issei rise of him and his henchmen capture you. Issei, yep, thank you very much, smiling at Sona. Sona, and now let's go, Haida, said Sona, but Issei stopped her. Issei, actually my last name is not Haida, he said, confusing the citrus. Actually my name is Issei, Citri, smiling. That surprised the citrus quite a bit, and Sona even more so. Sona, so you're for real, she said, nervous about what she just heard. Issei, Citri, that's right, I'm a Citri like you in Serafal, they call me Emperor Citri, smiling proudly, surprising the Citri. Everyone what? Surprised. Back. Akeno, did something happen? Rias, yes, Sona and her entourage found an Issei, but it seems they will have a difficult time, but something is bothering her. Godslayer, well, as Lord Mela said, there are Issei who are powerful, but there are also some annoying ones. Maybe Sona met an Issei who is very annoying. Rias, I think you're right, for now let's go to the Grigory to shelter the Isseis, she said seriously, and everyone nodded. At the Grigory, Azazel was checking a computer, looking at some kind of radar. He looked closely at the radar as if he was finding something. Azazel, okay, in Kwa there are at least 4 Isseis, in Kyoto there are 2 Isseis, I will have to inform Yasaka later, and 2 in Tokyo, but the strangest thing is that there are 6 Isseis in the United States and 4 in China. What did those Isseis do in their dimension to go to those places? He said, curious to see the coordinates where the Isseis were. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with their past and that they feel safer in those places, said an Issei with glasses, red eyes and a white coat to Azazel. He had 2 cups of coffee. Azazel, thank you, takes the cup of coffee, drinking the contents. I have to thank you for fixing the computer after it exploded, smiling at Issei. Well, I had nothing to do. Besides, I wanted to fix this Issei's problem before they do something stupid, but it seems it's too late, he said in a calm tone, but at the same time annoyed and a little sorry for what the Isseis were going to do. Meanwhile, in Azazel's laboratory was normal Issei, but unlike his other versions, he had a different aura that would make the original Issei look ridiculous. Issei, okay, with this it should be here, said Issei, placing a screw in the machine to travel dimensions. From the entrance, Azazel came out with Issei to see the machine. Issei, hello Azazel-sensei, and another me smiling and greeting the two. Azazel, hey kid, tell me, how's the machine working? Smiling at seeing Issei repairing it. Issei, it's going very well, although I had some problems placing the screws, he said, Issei smiling with his typical smile. As always, an Issei is naive but still makes good guys, thought Issei, smiling. Let me help you, he said, and had a screwdriver in his hands. Issei, by the way, haven't you said your name? I know you have the same name as me, but it would be confusing if I told you our names, said Issei. My name is... Suddenly the sound of an explosion is heard, which alerted all members of the Grigory and the Isseis. Azazel, what was that explosion? Screamed in surprise. Guard, Azazel-sama, we are being attacked. I shout, alerting Azazel. Azazel, who is the enemy? Said Azazel seriously. Guard, well Azazel-sama, we are being attacked by 4 people and a 3-headed dragon, he said, surprising Azazel. Outside the Grigory. A kind of yellow dragon without arms and with 3 heads shot rays at each fallen angel of Grigory who tried to attack it. Hee, what a weaker race, has always said a black-haired Issei. He had a black robe and earrings. Ha, that's right, although I would have liked to go massacre demons, said an Issei who had the same appearance and weapon as Nero, but his attitude was different, he was more aggressive. As long as I bring peace to this world I will do it, said a red-eyed robot wind with hostility to everyone. No, just remember that the master wants the other Isseis alive. All members of the Grigory are worthless, so kill them, he said with a sinister tone, and everyone nodded. The raven watched everything from a magic circle and just said, Azazel, we are lost, he said in a serious tone when he saw the Iseis attacking the fallen angels. Christmas special, the Isei's Christmas. Christmas, the most anticipated time for all humans in the world to celebrate with their loved ones and receive gifts from them, and also for the world to be at peace and love. But let's leave that aside to focus on Isei's group. Issei, okay, there are only 5 days left until Christmas, he said, looking at a calendar, and on the 25th it said Christmas. He asked me how the other Iseis celebrate Christmas. Meanwhile, all the Iseis who joined Issei to defeat Issei Azazel were gathered in a large elegant room. Everyone was talking about trivial things. Lord Meloy was talking to a glasses-wearing Issei. Multiverse was reading a book. Una Izari was chasing a brown-haired girl resembling her. VG and Godslayer were talking very calmly as if they weren't enemies. Blaziken was training, Gladius was watching the house remodeling, Urizen was asleep on a sofa, and King Fire was drinking a glass of wine. There were also the new Iseis who joined the original Issei. Rebellion, Zero, Dr. Fear, Cross, Null and more. Zero was calmly cleaning his katana. But in that attempt Gladius faced. Hey, I heard what the strongest swordsman in the multiverse is telling you, the one who cut a celestial, right? Said Gladius, attracting everyone's attention, even the Issei canon harem. That's right, they've always told me that, Zero said in a calm tone. How strong is he? Said Meloy, impressed by what Zero can do. Zero is at the level of a low-level celestial. If he gives him a sword-type relic, he abandoned that all to dedicate himself to the art of the sword, whispers Rebellion, drinking his tea. Amazing! Kiba and Zenobia said, impressed. The original Issei came down the stairs and looked at the other Isseis. Guys, please pay attention to me, he shouted, and everyone looked at him. How do you celebrate Christmas? Everyone paid attention to the Issei canon. It would surely be important if it came from the original VG, Godslayer, Urizen too. Since Christmas is coming up in 5 days, I want to know how you all celebrate Christmas? Issei said curiously. Soon Cross Issei spoke. With a loud party and lots of food, Cross exclaimed, getting a lot of support from the majority of the Isseis. Godslayer returned to his bitter expression upon hearing Christmas. No, he whispers angrily. I support Issei quickly, Issei said with happy anger. Gifts and delicious food, said little Izari happily. Well, I think we should decorate the new room, seeing the elegant room that VG made, and we also need the help of the other Isseis who are now living here, said the classic Isseis. Soon everyone got up and got to work. Godslayer stood up and wanted to leave, but Issei saw him. Hey Godslayer, wait, I caught up with him. Aren't you going to help at least with the decorations? Anything related to Christmas, I hate them. I'll go drink. I didn't look for myself, he said harshly while putting on his black coat since it was snowing. Leave him, he hates Christmas because he lost his dog. He loved him very much, said VG, meditating in silence. I see, said the classic Issei with sadness upon hearing that. Well, I'll tell the Isseis. After a long time, Issei had warned his other versions, and they decided to help. I'll gladly help you, said Issei with butterfly wings. Well, someone else is missing. Issei knocked on the door. Nanami-san, we need your help. Nanami, in her succubus form with very revealing Christmas clothes, was giving love to both Rebellion and VG. Both Isseis were calm. I'm going in, Nanami-san. She opened the door to her room. We need your He saw the scene, shocked. Nanami, calm down, he said calmly, seeing Nanami sucking both VG and Rebellion, but the Celestial Queen and Succubus sucked her VG-kun and Rebe-kun a lot. If classic Issei were the old one, he would be excited to see such a scene, but since he is the current Issei, he blushed and closed the door. Excuse me, at least help with the decoration, Nanami-san. I yell at her from the door. I smell the scent of fluid, said the incubus Issei, sniffing. Please don't do something crazy, said Lord Meloy worriedly. Nanami stopped sucking. Well, Virgin-chan, I'll help them just because you've helped me reunite my 2 husbands, said Nanami. Nanami with celestial magic transformed all the Issei, giving them dwarf costumes while listening to a Christmas song. All the Isseis were impressed. All the Isseis shouted when they saw their new clothes. How did this happen? Said Issei Tanho upon seeing his suit. I don't know, said the Cupid Issei, surprised. It was the new girl's fault, wasn't it? Said Meloy, referring to Naomi. Sigh, not again, Zero whispers, looking at his suit. It's not that bad, said Gladius. That doesn't matter, let's get the party going, said Cross as he used his super speed to put together multiple Christmas decorations. Others had to help in other ways. Issei Tanho along with Meloy and Cupid went to find a Christmas tree. Iseei along with some Isseis helped prepare food. Blaziken and Nero were loading some tables for the guests. Issei, well, with this it should be ready, said the classic Issei, smiling. Rias saw everything with a strange but happy face. It's very rare to see so many Isseis helping. I'm grateful that they will help. I was cooking with Iseei. After a while we see everyone happy and satisfied with how everything had finished preparing. Jujage, we did it, guys, said Cross. Nice details, and you classics, said Gladius to Issei and his harem. It's incredible, Rias said, impressed. It's really beautiful, said Kiba, happy to see everything. The others were also impressed. This is excellent, thanks, guys, said Issei, smiling at his counterparts. It's not that bad, it will soon be Christmas. At least we want to celebrate the grown-ups, said another happy Issei, getting everyone's support. I just wish Godslayer-san was here, said the classic Issei sadly. With Godslayer, he was in a bad mood, sitting on the roof drinking his coffee. He didn't want to go in and see so many Christmas things. It brought back bad memories. I hate Christmas, Godslayer growls. He soon stopped drinking when he saw how the sky opened up, releasing a burning sleigh that fell into the sky, revealing a very wounded Issei Santa. But he didn't finish as he landed in the courtyard of the Hayuda mansion, creating a small explosion and earthquake. But what was that? I screamed when I heard the explosion and felt the earthquake. All the Isseis went to where the explosion was and saw an injured Issei Saint. Another Issei? He said, impressed. And he's dressed as a Santa, said Irina, seeing Issei Santa. Godslayer came closer to see Santa, who was injured. Help me, he said, wounded. He had broken his leg since a bone was sticking out. We must put it inside, said Issei Classic. That's right. I help Issei Santa and take him to the house. I must heal him right away. I heal Issei Santa, who was injured. He brought him inside the mansion after healing enough. Scene change. Everyone was gathered in the living room with Issei Santa in the now healed armchair, but apparently he had been given a cane because his leg had not fully recovered its mobility. Godslayer was resting on the wall with his arms crossed, ignoring everything. Santa Issei finished eating cookies and milk made by Asia. Thank you, Asia-san. With that I will recover little by little, he said sadly. What a holy Issei. I didn't expect that, said Irina, looking at Issei closely. Neither do I, but it was to be expected, said Lord Meloy. But what happened to you? Tano said worriedly. The saint became sad. When I was about to do my job, I was attacked by Anti-Santa, said Santa Issei, confusing classic Issei. Anti-Saint Issei said, confused. Well, in the multiverse there are two entities related to Christmas. Santa is in charge of bringing Christmas hope to the good Isseis, and the Anti-Santa only seeks to destroy it. It has always been that way, commented Rebellion. I see, so the Anti-Santa attacked you because of that. To be the only one, Issei said seriously. Not only that, he has an army of Rise of elves to help him accomplish his goals. He wants this, he said, taking out a kind of amulet in the shape of a candy cane. Everyone was impressed to hear that. An army of Rise of elves? Rias said, impressed. It can't be, said Kaneko. The classic Issei saw the cane-shaped amulet. And what do you want it for? She said curiously upon seeing him. It is what gives life to my world. That world is my workshop where we make the gifts, the spirit of Christmas. If you destroy it, Christmas will be gone forever, said Santa. Everyone was in shock upon hearing Issei's explanation. We must protect you, especially if you have that staff, said the classic Issei, determined. It's true, Christmas is a time that shouldn't be destroyed, said Tanho. We must protect you from that anti-saint and especially the amulet, said the classic Issei seriously. The other Isseis agreed except Godslayer. Well, we must prepare. We have time to prepare, said Issei Classic. I don't think we should keep waiting, said Deathshot, looking out the window. Why? Issei said fearfully. Because now he has just sent us all to a dimension along with the mansion, he said, looking out the window at a lot of snowy mountains and trees. They saw in the window that it was snowing. It's true, we are in another dimension, said Melee seriously. And not only that, look up. Tano pointed to the sky and saw many sleds heading towards the mansion. Everyone saw many sleighs with reindeer coming, but black. All that Rise of Him rode were dwarves disguised as dark elves. They had white but dangerous weapons. The multiverse really is strange, said Kiba, looking at the Rise of Him elves. Too much in my opinion, said Rias. Well, that's how the multiverse is, said Cupid, preparing his arrows. I'm ready, said Tano, preparing his knife. Well, those who don't have powers or weapons, I have a box full of weapons for everyone. Let's send those bastards to hell, said Deathshot, taking out a minigun while Cross and Hunter took out the weapons, being AK-47 and an M16. The three went out to shoot at them, killing a few, but they came for more. Then go! Classic Issei shout to all the Isseis. Lord Mello used fire and earth magic to kill others. Tanho cut the neck of each Rise of Him. Izari grabbed 2 Uzis and fired at the Rise of Him, and several Isseis joined in as well. King Fawnire, Kiba, Zero, Gladius and Zenobia began to cut the Rise of Him elves with their swords. The other Isseis were shooting, killing every elf Rise of Him. It was a total war where the Rise of Him were massacred. But there was another Issei dressed as a Santa Claus, but in black and red with a skull necklace, with Drake dressed as Rudolph the reindeer in the air. I saw how they easily finished them off. With a sigh, he took out his relic, which was a bell making a sound. The noise made the corpses bathe, reviving the Rise of Him elves to continue the attack. They revived? I shouted, seeing the Rise of Him elves follow. Maybe it's that Issei's fault, dressed as a black Santa, Tanho said, pointing at him. Everyone stop, exclaimed Black Saint Issei, making the army stop. Because you fight for it when we can join forces to conquer the multiverse, said Issei Black Santa. Our goal was never to conquer the multiverse, Tanho said seriously. That's right, no one here is interested in conquering the multiverse, said Lord Malloy. Also, we must protect the Issei Santa that you want to kill, said the classic Issei seriously. Before he could speak, he began to vomit blood. Rebellion felt the power of Issei Black Santa. You are dying, whispers Rebellion. Issei Black Santa just wiped his mouth. Yes, as you can see, I am an Issei created by a celestial. But the difference is that I have to have negative feelings to live, said Black Santa Issei. How is this possible? Exclaimed Classic Issei. The Christmas of the multiverse and Santa Issei, my nemesis, produces positive feelings as a result of his faith in Christmas, which is a poison that destroys my body, similar to the fall of the dragon that you know very well. That feeling, said Issei Black Santa. Everyone was impressed to hear that. Your life must really be difficult, said King Fawnire, looking at Issei Santa Black. There must be a way for you not to die, said the classic Issei. It's impossible, boy, said Meloy seriously. That's why one must die, be it me or Saint Issei, so for your own good hand me over to Saint Issei or you will all die. Black Saint Issei ordered. Hell, what can we do? Said Issei classically, trying to find a way to fix this without violence. To hell with peacefulness, every situation requires violence, exclaimed an Issei Deathshot, shooting at a Rise of Him. Issei Black Santa sighs, kill them all, he said, making everyone throw themselves with more force. Little by little he is overcoming the Issei thanks to the relic campaign. It surpasses us, exclaimed Issei Classic, and the rest fought as they could. While inside the mansion, God Slayer was having a drink regardless of the chaos outside. Because he isn't helping your friends, said Issei Santa, who was walking with the cane. Demons are beating us, we need more support, said an Issei shooting and casting magic. We're going to die if we continue like this. Tanho shouts to be surrounded by Rise of Hims. Tanho! Issei Cupid shoots his arrows at the Rise of Hims. God Slayer heard all this but ignored it. Because Christmas is none of my business, said God Slayer. Sigh, is it because of Bongo? Said sadly Saint Issei. That surprised him but angered the God Slayer. Godslayer without hesitation took out his revolver and pointed it at Issei Santa. Don't say the name of my pet in a cold and hateful tone. It's because of your dog that you lost your faith in Christmas. I wish I had been there that day to avoid it, said Issei, but Godslayer, when he remembered his pet that died because of his father, that his life was shit, he shouted angrily. What do you know about me? I lost my dog on that damn day that I will never forget. He shouted with all his might to Issei Santa. Where were you, where were you when I cried for my dog? Someone would save him, Godslayer shouted furiously. But Santa sighed and showed him something. In a flash of magic, a portal appeared. A dog entered the portal and barked happily, causing Godslayer to be in shock. Wait, that bark is from Bongo, he shouted upon seeing his dog again. But how? Maybe I couldn't save him, but I played with time to go to the past and take the dog before your father ran over him, said Saint Issei happily, making Godslayer want to cry while hugging his dog. Maybe it doesn't make up for everything you had to suffer, but please, I need you to save your friends in Christmas, said Santa Issei. Godslayer looked at the Isseis who were about to lose. Okay, I'll do it, since you gave me back my dog, seriously, taking out his other revolver. On the battlefield. Damn, we're being outclassed, Issei shouted, throwing many dragon shots. Rias launched spheres of power of destruction to stop them, but the rise of him surrounded her. The group's swordsmen tried to hold them back, but it was useless. We'll have to resort to our true power if this continues, said Vigi, trying to draw his sword. Many were falling and were about to die, but something unexpected happened. A bolt of electricity appeared from the sky, killing many Risevims and saving the Isseis. But what? Issei Santa Black said in shock. Everyone looked to where the lightning attack was and saw Godslayer with Thor's hammer on his prosthetic arm. Godslayer-san, said Issei Classic, happy to see his friend. I was wondering when you would come, albinos, said Vigi, looking at Godslayer. Bring me Issei Santa Black, he shouted, running, and without hesitation he launched a large beam of energy that killed many Risevimels. Santa Black was angry. He tried to use the chains, but Godslayer took out his revolver, which fired, destroying his arm, preventing him from using the chains. Ah! Exclaimed Issei Black Santa. He tried to launch more attacks, but Godslayer massacred him with gunfire until he was on the verge of death. Issei Black Santa was breathing, but Godslayer was about to kill him, but Santa spoke. Don't kill him, shouted Issei Santa to Godslayer. Everyone was impressed by what Issei Santa said. You, said Black Santa angrily, but slowly dying. I know there must be a way for you not to die without resorting to my death, said Santa. But he tried to kill you, Classic Issei screamed. Because he had no choice, right? Said Saint Issei, looking at her nemesis. You think I enjoyed destroying Christmas? You think I enjoyed being the bad guy in the story? I was afraid of dying, said Black Santa as his body slowly began to disappear. I hope you find happiness in your other life, Black, said Santa, watching his nemesis disappear. Classic Issei saw everything with a sad expression. Soon Black Santa died, and what was left of his clothes was a baby Issei crying from the cold. Soon the dimension was destroyed and everyone was in the mansion. All the Risevim elves disappeared in black fog. Rias without hesitation carried the baby, covering him with the Santa Black clothes. Calm down now, no one will hurt you again, said Rias, calming the baby. Wow, I never thought that Issei Santa Black would return as a baby, said Issei, Classic, surprised. The Issei's Santa are like the phoenix. When they die, they are reborn to start over, said Santa to lift the Black Santa. I'll take him to my teacher to cure him of the curse. At least I won't be alone handing out presents, said Santa happily. And why don't you stay? Let's have a Christmas party, said Issei Classic. Well, it wouldn't be such a bad idea. I need to rest a little and heal my legs, said Issei Santa. Then let's all celebrate Christmas, Issei said happily, and everyone nodded. 4 days later, all the Isseis were celebrating the Christmas Eve party in a very pleasant and happy way. Vigi and Godslayer were talking about trivial things and eating some food. Blaziken was eating some food. Nero was looking out the window and it was snowing. Nanami and the Incubus Issei were talking about trivial things. Cupid saw everything with happiness. All the Isseis were living together easily. The Dark Order were talking and eating at a table. On the other side of the house, Issei's parents watched everything with a smile. I never thought I would see so many versions of my children living together, said Goru, Issei's father, smiling seeing everything. It's like I've given birth to a bunch of children, said Miki, Issei's mother. She was smiling seeing everything and was carrying baby Issei. Minutes later. And Issei was singing a Christmas song in Japanese. Wow, I didn't expect an Issei to have a good voice, Rias said, impressed. I wonder if Issei has that kind of talent? Said Miki. Well guys, Christmas is here, said Issei Santa with his bag of gifts. It's true, it's already Christmas, said Issei Classic looking at the clock. Well, it's not a custom of mine to give gifts like weapons, but I'm going to be an exception, said Santa, taking something out of his bag. So you're not going to give gifts? Said the classic Issei. That's right, he smiling at everyone. The Saint Issei gave many relics and weapons to all the Issei and members of the Gremory clan. Finally we have something to be on par with the Isseis, said the classic Isseis, smiling and grabbing the relics. Well, it's time for me to go. My work isn't done, said Issei Santa, leaving. Wait. Aren't you going to help us? Issei said classic. I'm sorry, but I'm an Issei who only appears during Christmas time, so I'm sorry, he said as he left in his repaired sleigh. Will we see you again? Rias said. He lowered his head. I don't know, but I'll tell you something you plan to do after you defeat Issei Rise of him? I don't know either, said Issei. But well, it's time for me to go, said Issei Santa, starting to fly. Jojo, Merry Christmas to all of you, shouted Issei Santa, who left, leaving. Well, Merry Christmas, Issei shouted to the heavens, and a star appeared illuminating the mansion.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.